Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. My name is Leon Jones. And if you haven't done it yet, I would like you all to get over to my second channel, the QCIS channel. Like, share, and subscribe to that channel. I was actually out in the field today and I did construction operations. So if you're really looking for a career in construction or any type of STEM field, the QCIS channel is the place to be. The link is already in the chat. And also, I would like for you to like, share, and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone radio show. The link is already in the chat as well. And I also have the poll question up. As tonight, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind. And it's also going to be an extension of last week. Now, I talked about the violence last week. Well, that same violence that I talked about has continued into this week. Now, as you know, there was this crazy loon that went up into a Tops grocery store in Buffalo, New York, and killed 10 elderly people, or 10 people. They were African American. Now, yesterday, I believe 21 people were killed at an elementary school. One teacher and 20 students. Now, this is starting to sound like Columbine. It's starting to sound like the gay club in Orlando, Florida, the Florida shooting. And it's also sounding like the usual crime that's in the black neighborhoods as well. Now, my question is, why are we having all of this violence? Do people really care about their lives? It doesn't seem to me that people value their lives. And a lot of these shootings are really coming from, in my humble opinion, could be individuals that have psychological or mental damage. They should be in a mental institution. But you notice there's a pattern. And I'm not going to put race on it because I believe that Texas shooting, that was where a bunch of white folk, children and the teacher, were killed. There was another shooting in Texas at a church. I believe 26 people were killed. Now, you have a bunch of loons running around talking about gun control. And as I spoke on it last week, when you have gun control, the crime tends to be higher. Get on that in a moment because so many other topics that I want to get into are minimum wage. Of course, we're going to get into the doom and gloom and the violence. But let's get back to the violence. What's going on, Men's Daily? Shout out to you. Welcome to the chat. Men's Daily in the building. Get over there, like, share, and subscribe to his channel. But with all the violence taking place, and me, I'm still going to stand on what I believe in. I believe in the Second Amendment. With all the violence taking place, these individuals who are doing these shootings, in my humble opinions, either they know what they're doing or they don't know what they're doing. But one common issue is taking place, and that is they're going into people who don't defend themselves, children, gays, elderly. Shout out, Brother Davis. Good evening to you. Now, me, I would call that the bully syndrome because you know what a bully does. A bully, the reason why he wins is because a bully knows how to pick on a weaker person. The bully will go after the individual he knows he can beat. But when challenged, that bully is going to run. Well, the funny thing about a lot of these shootings, individuals who are potential victims don't know it's happening. Now, we talk about solutions. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Get your children out of public schools. Public schools are not safe anymore. Get them out of colleges. Have them online. As far as schools, homeschool your children. But the question is, why is all this violence taking place? Now, it doesn't mean that it hasn't happened before. You had people like Charles Manson. Sharon Tate was killed during that incident. You had individuals, well, some of you may have not been born. She didn't perish, but she was captured. Patty Hearst, back in the 70s. Remember the Boston Strangler, Jack the Ripper, the BTK killer. Brutal, torture, and kill. The Unabomber. There are a list of individuals who have committed acts of violence. The question is, why did they do it? You had people in New Jersey, I believe Piscataway, New Jersey. John List killed his family, didn't went to work. Now, I just have a personal opinion on it. A number of these individuals had some family issues, psychological issues. They didn't like themselves. And they didn't like themselves, so what they did, they took it out on others. I know some of them were picked on. Shout out to you, Brother Mel. Now, I will tell you this. We've all been picked on. I've been picked on. And I tell you, in the worst place that can really get you going is in the workplace. I worked at PennDOT. Did I feel like slapping down a few people? Absolutely. But did I do it? No. Consequences. See, when you're a law-abiding citizen, you know what the consequences are. But when you're not, you don't care what the consequences are. You're going to do harm, and whatever happens, happens. Now, I'm not going to say that there's going to be no more violence, because it is. And I'll be waiting for the numbers coming out from the city of Chicago. Memorial Day weekend when things heat up, 4th of July. I'll be on here next week telling you about the violence in Chicago. But we have a lot of violence taking place. And I have the information to back it up. Now, I'm going to go somewhere and share my screen and show you what I am flat out talking about. All right. This is, and let me share my screen here. All right. All right. This is in my home state of Indiana. How do you like that? Four young women shot at an Indiana park. And it's right there. Now, although it happened 13 days ago, it still happened. And of course, I'm going to show you news from my neck of the woods before I get into the national news. Now, again, four young women were shot at an Indiana park. And I bet you they weren't doing anything. But I'm going to read it and I'm going to find out myself. Indiana State News. Four young women were shot following a confrontation along the Canal Walk in downtown Indy. IMPD officers on bike patrol heard several shots fired around 12:20 a.m. Major Curry Buckner, IMPD. IMPD is Indiana Metropolitan Police Department. He was the night watch commander, said two groups of people had a disagreement and fired shots at each other across the canal. Four female victims were located. They were from 17 to 24 years of age. Although police arrived, they tried to defuse the situation. However, the argument continued. And it happened near the Colts Canal Playhouse at the Orange Bridge. Now, I live here in Indiana, and I know exactly where it is. Now, this is a popular spot here in the city of Indianapolis. It is a very big, popular spot. And I'm going to point out to you right now, down here, if you can see it, this is a white area. Now, again, according to reports, the injuries were not life-threatening at all. However, despite some witnesses being taken in for questioning, not everyone is cooperating with the investigation. Now, something else to tell you. Just bear with me. I have one monitor. At the scene, there was a gun recovered, and police are reviewing the park security cameras for information. Now, I will tell you, violence is in everyone's neck of the woods. I'm going to get some more information for you so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because individuals need to see what's going on. Just bear with me. And shout out to my sweet chocolate for sending me this information. All right. I got another one for you. And I'll get it out. Now, if you don't think that this is bad, hello, Paducia. Welcome to the chat. If you don't think this is bad or happening in your town, you got some things coming too, because it's in your town. All right. Here we go. Let me put some other information out. In the state of Indiana, and of course, I'm bringing the news out from where I live. This happened in Goshen, Indiana. 2 dead, 3 injured in a Goshen shooting. That's right. And there are others to look at. Now, let me stop sharing this and get some other information out. Shout out to you, Ben's Daily. That's what having a woman is. You want to acknowledge your woman. My brother. But again, all this news that you're hearing all comes from doom and gloom. And when things are doom and gloom, they can get crazy. Now again, we have to understand what's going on out here. A lot of us don't, a lot of us really don't care what's going on out here. Heck, let me bring something else up too. Oh my goodness. All right. Let me share my screen again. I'm going to be sharing screens all night long. So this might be boring to some. It might not be boring. But I'm going to share it anyway. This is in my neck of the woods. Lafayette, Indiana. Lafayette, Indiana. This is where I live. A Lafayette woman has been convicted of murdering her 3-year-old son. A Tippecanoe County jury needed only 90 minutes of deliberations Thursday before issuing a guilty verdict against Crystal Cox for charges of murder, neglect of a dependent, and aggravated battery of a child that's less than 14 years old. Cox's son, Zeus, died on July 5th of 2021. Although this is last year's news, this is happening. And the funny thing about it, this isn't all, and I'm bringing a counterbalance. This isn't all black people doing this, okay? This isn't all black. I know some people, well, all blacks do everything. No, I'm bringing a counterbalance right now. This is in my neck of the woods. I live in Lafayette, Indiana, and things are happening like this. Shout out to Brian Davis, if I may speak about someone's channel. Ollie Matthews, heard on YouTube, speaks about societal narcissism. This is a major factor in condition of current society. And this country is being taken over by psychopaths. Absolutely. Now, I do believe that, but something else that one must understand is we have a number of individuals who have an entitlement complex. We have individuals who are out of work. We have individuals that aren't going to school. And we have individuals who come from parents who are very permissive. Shout out to my brother, Guy King. He is in the building. He says this country was never headed in the right direction. Don't forget the founding fathers were slave owners. And again, that's a fact. I got a poll question up. 6 votes are already in. Do you believe this country is headed in the wrong direction? Absolutely. And that's only after 6 votes. So get up there and vote. Like, share, and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show. And also my second channel, the QCIS channel. Now, Brother King says this country has never been headed in the right direction. I'm going to drop the link. Anybody that wants to join, the link is already down. I'm one that doesn't like to talk too long, but if you want me to talk, I'm going to sit up here and do it. And again, shout out to my brother Guy King. He says this country has never been going in the right direction in the beginning. Now, there is some truth to that because this country has sold us a lot of dreams. You ever heard the term American dream? Well, if you see it now, you look at your high gas prices, you look at potential food shortages. There was a baby food shortage or a formula shortage because not every woman breastfeeds their baby. A lot of bad luck is taking place right now. And this doom and gloom is also part of that violence. Men's Daily. There are a lot of people with unresolved psychological problems and mental health issues. The amount of crime and lives lost lately don't lie. Hey, that's a fact. And brother, you are welcome to come on up there because I've said that myself. But you have people who have entitlement issues. Again, my brother Guy King, another good point. American dream was never meant to become an American reality. You know that's true. Because if you think of it, we have a lot of isms in place: sexism, racism. What about classism? There are a lot of us who may dream of being wealthy, but we will never be wealthy. And this is the problem of having a wage. And shout out to Brother Devin Lockett, who was on my panel last week. He said something that I never thought about when he talked about the minimum wage. Well, the minimum wage basically was set to keep small businesses down. Individuals who are running a big corporation, they're the only ones who can afford everything because they set the parameters. In fact, the larger corporations, they buy up all the smaller business. Now, you know, don't we have anti-monopoly? You can't have monopolies. Isn't that illegal? But we do. I'll name some. You look at all your cable companies. I mean, I have Xfinity. Time Warner was just bought by AT&T, but there are a few other ones out there. There's no competition. We have antitrust laws, which deals with, I believe, monopolies. Also, you look at your cell phone providers. There used to be 4 cell phone providers. There are only 3 cell phone providers. Sprint was bought up by T-Mobile. AT&T was going to buy Sprint, but during the Obama administration, he said no because there was no competition. But yet, Sprint was allowed to be bought by T-Mobile. So now there are only 3 cell phone companies, and the rest of them are subsidiaries. Like Cricket is a subsidiary of AT&T. So basically, who's controlling everything? We have oligarchies. Your big corporations are controlling everything. You look at your big grocers. During the pandemic, everybody else shut down, but they didn't. But in the long run, we have a lot of issues going on with people who are, in my humble opinion, they're absolutely crazy mentally. And I'm going to say this. You parents out there and you individuals out there, get off your rocker and your ego and go get some help. You may think you don't need help, but a lot of us need help. I've gone myself when I had issues to get help. Now, some people say help doesn't work. Help will only work if you participate in the program. If you don't participate in the program, it won't work. Brother Guy King, we need sexism. A lack of sexism is one of the problems. Sexism only means recognizing that men and women are not equal and not the same. Good point. Good point. That's a good point. Men's Daily. Time Warner was never bought. No, Time Warner was bought by AT&T. Time Warner was bought by AT&T. There is a cable, charter cable, which is called Spectrum. I currently have the service. I had Time Warner for several years, but you're right about a monopoly being equal. That's why all of your big corporations, what they're doing, yeah, they want the minimum wage because they can afford to pay $15 an hour. Small businesses can't afford to pay $15 an hour. So what does that do? That's going to put them out of business because they can't compete. And what corporations want to do, they want to put all the mom and pops out of business and then buy all the mom and pops businesses up. And what happens? Well, they run the market. If you look at your gas prices, I don't know what gas prices are in some areas, but they're pretty high here. I've never seen 479, 459 a gallon here in Indiana. That's what it is here. Brother Davis, 5.5 years of therapy and medical, and I'm speaking with you instead of in a box. Brother King, what we don't need is misogyny and misandry. Well, we believe it or not, we always hear the term misogyny, but we rarely ever hear the term misandry. And there's a lot of misandry going on out there. And shout out to Brother Dr. T. Hassan Johnson for bringing that up. Good evening, Jenny B. Welcome to the chat. And I'm having a good day. I hope you're having a good day as well. If you're just joining us, I'm talking about doom and gloom, the violence, minimum wage, and then any other topic that you want to talk about, open topic. The link is in the chat. I also have a poll out. I always put the poll out. And again, I'll go over it. Do you believe this country is headed in the right direction? I've got 8 votes so far. Correction, do you believe this country is headed in the wrong direction? 88% yes, 12% no, and that's only 8 votes. Come on, get your votes in there. And please support the 401 Talk Zone radio show channel and anybody else who has a channel. Everybody with a wrench, if you have a channel, put it in the chat. But let's move on. The rash of news that I'm hearing, it's troubling. And during the weekend, holiday weekend, there's going to be more. Brother Davis, the misandrists have infiltrated the feminist movement. Now, folk think feminists are man-haters when they're not. Well, I don't know about that. You have a point right there, Brother Davis, but there are a number of these feminists who are man-haters. In fact, feminism actually came from the lesbians, and that was overseas in Europe, I believe. And it has spread into our colleges and universities. Now, some of them may not be man-haters, but there are quite a bit of them who are man-haters. Shout out to you, Brother Cortez Smith. Welcome to the chat. Cortez Smith is in the building. Well, when it comes to misandry, I know Brother King has brought up misandry, brought up a long time ago. That's true. That's true. Feminist today literally means man-hater. Shout out to you, Brian Day. Yeah, that's what it is. And Brother Cortez Smith, he's also put it out there, a very true fact. Women don't want to be women. This is why a number of your unattractive women have problems with attractive women. Feminism is just another Marxist ideology. Why they call it feminism when it is anti-feminine? Brother Guy King, that's a good point. Feminism is actually a Marxist ideology, which basically gives women subsidies to be equal. Really has nothing to do with being a woman, but they use the equality as a badge to get something for nothing. And they followed the civil rights movement, a number of women, and the affirmative action. And this is why a number of women have all the government jobs. All right. Show me a feminist who doesn't openly hate men. Well, a lot of them. He corrected himself, Brother Cortez. Sigmund, that's what I've been asking. It's literally masculinism of men. Shout out to you, Free Zone. Well, ism can mean anti. Well, you have socialism, communism. So you have a lot of isms out there. And Brother Guy King, I can hardly find anyone who don't hate men. Even males hate men. Brother Guy King he hit on something. I was getting ready to say that. And if you don't believe me, you can find that in these YouTube spaces. Some of these pro-blacks out here, they may call themselves pro-blacks, but at the end of the day, they don't like masculine black men either. They usually pander to the ABW as well. They talk like they believe in black power, but they don't. And many of these so-called pro-blacks are undercover simps who are looking for validation of women. They're the ones who call the ABW God. A lot of these pro-blacks are fake. These are the ones who also hate men. Well, misandry and feminism was two different things. Yes, feminists are anti-feminine. This is why you see some feminists who are unattractive. They cut their hair off short. They get different color hair. A number of individuals, they don't care about what they look like. Some of them have hair under their arms. This is all facts. Look, Cortez says, look at how quick dudes are talking about killing each other. Look at all the rap videos and how they hold guns up. Yes, they do. Facts. But see, all this right here tells you that you got people out here with a lot of mental disorders. You have individuals out here who really don't value their own lives, but they don't care about your life either. Now, again, some people might not believe in the Second Amendment. I do. But you got to protect yourself, not just with a weapon, but you need to protect yourself with knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge out here, and there are a number of people who aren't getting it. You look at that cell phone that you got. How often do you all look at the news? A number of individuals don't, but I guarantee you they're on social media trying to find some entertainment there. The problem is many individuals don't take life seriously. They think it's a game. Now, again, Brother Bernard Davis says, you are right about violence amongst men. Yes. There and brother Davis, I live not too far from Chicago. Believe it or not, you're going to hear about it. When I get on my next stream, I'm going to give you how many people in Chicago got shot. Brother Guy King, not just pro-blacks, red pill wannabes, and much of the manosphere hate men, especially that dude. Well, shout out to you. I'm not going to call his name out there, but you said the name. Yeah, he was the guy in, is he still in medical school? He has a channel out, but he's overseas. I'll just leave it there. Shout out to Brother Laughing Dog. I did put the link out if anybody wants to come up on the panel. But again, going back to YouTube, there is a lot of hate and disdain for people on YouTube. And what I have done is I stayed away from it. I mean, I know it's out there. And the worst thing that I see is when black men are shouting each other down, threatening each other, wanting to come to each other's houses and do damage. Does anyone believe don't hate men? Does anyone really believe? Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Brother King. You have individuals out here who pander to women. So, in order to impress that woman, a number of them are going to hate men because they want to be the knight in shining armor for that woman. They want to put on that cape. And you have a number of them who do. So, they're basically putting that woman on a pedestal. So, they want to impress that woman by using her talking points and hating men. I see a lot of that. And in the end, that's definitely wrong. But do you see the women doing that to the men? Absolutely not. Good conversation as I'm flip flopping between topics here. I view him as a troll. Well, that's another thing. Some people do anything for views out here, and you have a lot of trolls out here. Again, YouTube. I'm just going to tell you this: YouTube. I'm not going to say it's not real, but I guarantee you, when people get behind the scenes of YouTube, I bet you their lives either suck or their lives are totally different than what they present on YouTube. So you have a lot of individuals who talk tough on YouTube. Shout out to brother Osama, brother Guy King. Many dudes fall for it. It's very telling about black men. Well, the problem with black men too is a number of black men. One of the reasons why many of us are going to have a hard time because black men pedestalize women. You have a lot of black men who talk tough, but many of them aren't serious. That's a big problem. Now, one thing me and Guy King talked about a long time ago. Now, there are a lot of pills out there. There's red pill, blue pill, black pill. I'm not too sure what black pill means. I know what red pill, I know what blue pill is, I know what purple pill is, which is a combination of red and blue. The problem is, Brother King, and I got my boy. Welcome, Free Zone. Welcome to the chat, brother.
What up? What up?
Hey,
Salute to 411 in the chat. What's happening, everybody?
hey, you guys have given me a lot of topics to talk about, so I've been around, and we're talking about the violence. We're talking about everything. Um, the violence is especially, and the feminism is especially what we need to talk about. What's your view on it, brother Lou?
Well, in line with what you said, man, the violence among men. I mean, violence among men isn't something that's abnormal, but I think that the way that it's being carried out nowadays is highly atypical, especially with the times, so to speak. But I think a lot of this is just I think a lot of what we're seeing is just a long repeated exposure of basically telling men they ain't shit. Everything masculine is toxic masculinity, and you got all these isms and you're racist and a sexist and an ageist and all these and isms
You know,
used. You know what
I,
I'm saying?
I can't. I agree with that. I'm glad you said that because no matter how people can put a band-aid on it all they want. There's a lot of man hating going on, and you know it's very bad, brother Free Zone. It's bad when men hate other men. I can understand,
Yeah.
but you have and everybody shout out to brother Free Zone Lou, spam his channel. Body with a wrench. He's got some good content as well because
I
I'm
No,
gonna
go ahead.
shout you out, my brother. But
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, man.
we have a lot of men here, and they don't believe what you're saying. A lot of men aren't loyal to each other. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something, brother Free Zone, and this is the truth. And you already know it. You were in the Air Force. You know where men really have a divide? Men could be going strong together. You put a woman in between them, you'll find out how men really.
Woo! Yeah, man.
You will find out where their heads are, and you will find out how loyal men are. It's just like, I'll give you an example. You have a football party with a bunch of men. They're talking, you know how they talk trash. You know how they talk stats. You bring you
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
you bring a woman into that football party. Oh, the vibe is going to change. Now you're going to have a bunch of men trying to impress that woman, and the loyalty that men had to each other goes right out the door.
Yeah, but you know what else is crazy too? Because at the same time, you'll have that woman, and this is the fault of the men.
Yes.
That woman will fight for spacing within the male dominated space. So then it turns into, you know, we used to tell dirty jokes on the job and stuff, and then you get a woman in there, and all of a sudden we can't tell dirty jokes, we can't be loose, we can't nothing because human resources, like all of that too plays a part. That men just can't be men
And
around themselves.
that, brother, you couldn't have brought it out any more plainer or simpler than that. That is a fact. And brother Sigma, Guy King, brought out, because there was this pill out there, black pill. It says black pill doesn't believe anything can be changed. Well, there are some people who actually believe that. And brother Cortez Smith, and you'll believe this, women don't even have to fight. They're given a space. That's a fact.
That's it.
And shout out to Latin A. Biden's at the wheel napping while wearing diapers. Yeah, he is.
Biden don't know where he at, man. I don't even want to talk about that. That shit crazy.
Well, on your channel, I know you go into some politics, but let's be honest too, because this is also open panel. I don't know what state you're from. What are your gas prices down there? For me, they're $4.59, $4.79. It cost me $95 to fill my tank up.
Oh man, I'm here in South Carolina.
Oh, you're in South Carolina. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't filled up in about a week and some change, but when I did, it was over 4. I know that. And then 2 weeks before that, it was at 3. So I think it's like 420, 430 right now.
Well, that's cheaper than what it is here. And let's everybody, you can cash up if you want, but the real support I want, get my subscriber count up and get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Get the motherfucking likes up. I'm not doing this for my health. Computer robots. I got a question. What do you think the future generation of boys will become men and future generations of girls will become women again? Man, that's a good question. I'll leave that one for you, brother Free Zone, and then I'll tackle that because that's a tough question.
Yeah, man. Hey, hit 411 Cash App, all that stuff, man. Support my dog, man. He dropping good content. As far as computer bots question, it's tough to say. And the reason why it's tough to say is because you have a generation of men right now, the newest generation, that already see the matriarchy as normal.
Oh yeah, good point.
So it's like we're in that rotation where good times bring, what is it? Damn, man, hard times coming. Let's just say that, man. Hard times coming. And I think that the hard times coming is when you'll see a reemergence of the masculine and feminine.
So in other words, you're basically, I was going to say something. The wording was going to be different, but the situation is the same. You're going to have to go through some pain before you get the gain.
Yeah.
Cortez says good times make soft men.
There you go.
You know,
There
that's
you go.
guys are dropping some common sense. That is true.
Like think about it, bro. We're in a time where, okay, hey man, we got this huge pregnancy out of wedlock issue. What do y'all think we should do? I mean, I know this might sound old fashioned, but we could abstain. Man, ain't nobody trying to hear all that shit, man. Ain't nobody trying to do that. Niggas is fucking like
Yeah.
that's the immediate reaction. So if we can't even fathom the fact that people could just fuck less, uh I mean, I don't know what else to go, where else we can go from there.
Well, you know, black men ain't gonna stop fucking. I mean, come on. They may have to be a little bit cognizant of how they're fucking. In other words, put a Jimmy hat over it so they don't produce any unwanted babies. But other than that, niggas ain't gonna stop fucking. I mean, we know that. That's not gonna happen. I mean, it's a good idea in theory.
Nope. We must eat. We must sleep. We must fight. We must bust.
Yeah, yeah. Computer
And
robot.
a lot of them.
Yeah, computer robot says every kid needs a father and mother in their lives. That's well, we've been saying that.
Oh yeah. Now, fortunately, from the things that I'm reading, there is this reemergence of fathers being active in the lives of their kids. But like so many other things, you know, things will get better and then they'll get worse again. So
Well, you know, we got a bunch of people out here. And shout out to Brian Davis again. He says, I think we should have a mindset that even in good times, we shall still train to be strong, if you will. Well, in any time, good or bad times, we should always strive to be strong, and we should have a need to be masculine. A lot of men aren't masculine. Jenny V says women need to stop putting the goods on the tables for all men to feast on. Yet that's a fact too. That way you won't be a used car and you won't come up with a bunch of babies. Because when you have kids and you're a woman, guys don't want that. They're going to look at you as used goods already because they see you with something that somebody else produced. And then the kids aren't going to respect you either. You know, that's fact too. Go ahead, brother. Free zone.
no, I mean it's just bad. Like especially amongst black people, the relationships is bad because you know black women want you to be the boss. They want you to be in charge of your life to the extent that you can. But there's this weird thing that's been floating around where like women want you to be basically they want black men to be what white men are. And how can you say you run your life and stuff when you live in a country with the white men? It's like at that point, there's nothing I can really do with that. I mean, there's 40 million there's 40 million or so black people in a country of over 150 million white folks. It's just not. They want black men to overthrow quote unquote white supremacy, and it's just like, nigga, how? Like even if like even if I believed in it, like nigga, how?
We're just not, the numbers aren't there. And a lot of us as black men and even black women, we're too interested in entertainment than in getting power. We're happy with a job, especially the older we get. The old Negroes just love a job. They're not passing any knowledge down to the younger brothers and sisters, well, the younger brothers to get started in business because the baby boom generation, they're getting ready to retire.
Mm-hmm.
In my generation, Generation X, they're also, well, we might not even be able to retire because the baby boomers, they've taken everything. I mean,
Yeah.
they worked when the going was good. Jenny V says a woman is easier to rescue if she hasn't got a carload of children accompanying her.
There you go.
That's facts.
Talk that shit. Talk
Brother
it, Jenny.
Brother Men's Daily, we look at women like pawn shops and thrift stores after they have kids or has been in multiple past marriages. Oh, yeah, Men's Daily. He's definitely a He's definitely on his red pill stuff. And Computer Robots says or asked, do you think Russia and China might take over the Western countries because they realize that they need masculine men and feminine women to maintain their civilization and to grow and prosper? Well,
Um, that would actually take. They could, but it would take more time. And the reason why is the advancement of technology as far as weapons go. You don't really have to be. I mean, yes, you do need your masculine soldiers and everything like that, but the fact that everybody has all these high powered weapons kind of nullifies that. So it in my opinion, it is something that could happen, but in order for it to happen, all those high powered weapons, it's the whole arms war. If everybody has the same amount of arms or the same quality of arms, I don't know.
we
I
got
don't know, man.
man, we got a tough road. We do have a tough road ahead of us, and um, getting into what mostly you talk about too. When I mention doom and gloom, brother Free Zone, I'm mentioning that many of Americans they're being led by a bunch of individuals who are oligarch. They're oligarchs. They have a lot of money, and they're also being thrown alive by the elitists out here. And these elitists are causing doom and gloom because really what the elitists want, they don't want the middle class. They want their class because they believe because
Right.
they have all the money, they can make all the decisions. And most of us who are in the middle class or we're peons, many of us are treated like sheep. Some of us will
Right.
go to the slaughterhouse. And what these elitists do, they create a doom and gloom society. And what they do when they create doom and gloom, they get everybody in hysteria. Now,
Uh,
I'm not going to throw any misinformation out there, but I'm gonna just say this: you have a number of people who have gotten that jab, that JAB. I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, I don't know if that's causing their minds to go in different directions. It's a possibility. I'm not sure, but it is a possibility because if you think about it, you look at people like George Floyd. Okay, this this thug was given 3 funerals and a gold casket. What do we get out of it? Juneteenth, which a lot of us never even heard of Juneteenth. A lot of us haven't. Now let me.
hold on now. Let's not forget with Juneteenth comes their own ice cream now. We're getting close. We're making strides. We got ice cream now.
We got ice cream. Yeah, yeah. We got Wally World out there, Walmart. Brother Davis, baby boomer men of all ethnicities number only went to school to have said image so they could get some nookie. And yes, they did. Well, that is true. There are a number of guys who went to school so they could get women. And believe it or not, that's why some guys join fraternities as well to get women. Because you have a number of guys, and when we talk about masculinity, a number of guys aren't strong in the heart anyway. They might on the outside talk strong. Salute Brother Survival. And Brother Survival, hit that link. Come on up in the panel. Like to hear your perspective. Again, baby boomer men, they wanted to attract some nookie. And believe it or not, men of all races want that nookie. Unfortunately, the nookie goes to their head, and then we get sexual harassment laws in the workplace because the women take advantage of what men are doing. Again, we got to make better decisions as men.
I mean, but you know what else they did? They basically turned college into a hotel slash fuck fest. That's basically what they did. Like their selling points aren't even education. That's not even high on the docket. People go to college now for bitches and network. If they can mingle with the right people.
Yeah, and that you know what? That's true because college is also an indoctrination institution. You don't learn anything in college. Hey, did you go to college, brother Free Zone, or you didn't go?
I did two
It was,
semesters.
how many?
I did 2 semesters.
And you just decided it wasn't for you.
I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah.
I learned absolutely nothing in those 2 semesters.
Now let me ask you something. I went to college. Now, and we've all done it. Have you all? We've all cheated occasionally in college. I know I did it because I didn't learn anything, especially classes that you don't need. We all went. Laughing Doll said, yes, it's highly probable they messed up their heads. And we're talking about the jab. And got one of our brothers up on the panel, Survival.
How you guys doing?
All right, brother Survival. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I just got home from work. I didn't get a chance to watch before I popped in, so I don't really know the topics. I kind of got to.
We're talking about we're talking about minimum wage. We also have an open panel where we're talking about anything that comes to our head. Minimum wage is a big one. The violence and doom and gloom, because really, doom and gloom is the main topic because everything else follows doom and gloom.
There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it these days. It's easy to get sucked into that, doom and gloom. Yeah, as far as minimum wage, I mean, I think it was probably a good idea at first. I don't think it's a good idea anymore. And I personally, I feel kind of offended by it sometimes in my area, at least, because minimum wage keeps going up for entry level people, but my wage doesn't go up anymore. So it's like a smack in the face almost.
Well, first of all, the jobs that have the minimum wage are all kids' jobs anyway. I was making $2.89 and $3.35 an hour.
Yep.
And,
when I was a kid, same thing. I think it was about $4 an hour, somewhere around there. But yeah, flipping burgers.
Yeah.
I mean, minimum wage. I don't think minimum wage was ever a good idea. Because what happens is, at least the kids before minimum wage, you could work as a kid and they could pay you whatever, but at least you were. First off, you had something to do. Let's get that established. You got a whole bunch of kids walking around here with nothing to do because they don't think that it pays enough for them to do it. It's not worth it to them. But back then, and back then, as a kid, you could develop skills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These kids ain't got no skills right now.
No, go ahead, brother. Survival.
Well, that's another thing that I saw. I mean, I know they haven't taken it out of every school, but they used to be in high schools. And if you went to like a decent high school, I don't know if you guys had this at your school or not, but they had wood shop, they had auto shop.
They had home ec.
Yeah, they took it out of there. Now the kids don't even have that, so they don't even learn a valuable skill at school. Like, I don't know.
I do. The kids learn nothing at school.
Yeah, I agree.
And being on that education kick, is a degree really worth it these days?
Only if you're going for legal or medical. There may be a handful of other like scientific things, but if you're going to get an Associate of Arts, you're just wasting your money.
Man, you can get that at a community college. I mean,
outside of STEM, I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, unless you're in STEM, or you're doing some shit like you want to be an attorney, or you want to be a surgeon, a doctor.
Yeah,
things like that. But for most people, college is not for. But see, that's the thing. The colleges were having an issue. I forgot the time period. Please, somebody drop it in the chat if you know. But there came a time period where it was economically, like, colleges weren't making bread like that because kids didn't want to go to college. So they basically, with the government, gave kids money to go to college. And so when you, yeah, when you, so now you have this influx of kids who aren't there for college. That's the key. They're not there for college. They don't care anything about college or education. So in the college world, they're essentially the back of the bus. They're the short bus kids. They're the ones with the helmet and lick the windows.
Well,
You enroll these kids and you enroll these kids into the school. So now you got to make amenities for these kids. Hence why all these top colleges look like fucking resorts. They look like the Trump International or some goofy shit like that.
Yeah.
They got pools, goddammit.
Well, when was the last time you talked to anybody that was 17 or 18? You know, they're not, it's pretty rare to find one that's like real goal and career oriented. Most of the time, I heard you guys were talking earlier, like, you know, or one of the guys in the chat was like, guys go to college to get girls and stuff like that. That's what the puberty brain is telling them to do. All their hormones are telling them, go to where the girls are. Well, the girls are in college, so hell yeah, I'll get $100,000 loan at a 20% interest rate, so I can go where the girls are. They go spend a useless 4 years there. They end up paying it back the rest of their life. Maybe they find the girl. Maybe, who knows? But it's totally not worth it.
Let me get to the chat. Jenny V says, get a student debt to pay for that coochie. Wow. Brother Cortez, call it an indoctrination camp. Shout out to Brother Clue in the building. Shout out to Brother Davis and the Music Light Shy Lights, a.k.a. Simp Lights. Wow. You guys are rough tonight. Minimum wage, we had talked about that. Jenny V says, I think minimum wage was brought in so that women could for once think they were actually equal to men. The real challenge for them is to rise above that wage. That is something to think about.
That's an interesting point.
That is an interesting point, because what's happening when it comes to certain jobs out, and I'll be honest, because I used to work for the government, a number of women have all the government jobs, and they're very cushy jobs. If you work for the state government or the local government or even the federal government.
Yeah, well, that also goes into, I don't remember who it was that was debating with the good mother. Forget one of them goofy guys, but they really wanted to pin her down about white ladies are the most beneficiary people from affirmative action, because there's so many white ladies and they prioritize them for all these office jobs. And so you see a lot of that. So yeah, a lot of these ladies are getting picked over guys to do office work.
Yeah, but be honest, would you guys like to do office work? I worked in the office and I didn't like it.
I tried it once, man. I worked my way all the way up to a manager position, supervisor position.
Hell no.
Hated it. It was like $100 more than, because I'm an electrician. It's $100 more to be in the office. I was like, it's not even worth it. So I stepped back down. I would rather be in the field than be a supervisor. I don't like office work.
I can't do that, because so much backstabbing in the office. You really don't have to be a brain to work in the office. It's just, you think you're important. Working with your hands, working outside.
When you're producing something, outside is more fulfilling for me, and it's easier to get through the day. It's less stressful. I can see what I need to do, and I can see a finished product. That's my style, but everybody's different.
And it's just office politics. I can't do office politics. I cannot.
I can't either. No,
because it's usually based on something petty, has nothing to do with the job. It's not. Some of the merits are based on things that you can't even control.
Yeah,
like, what I'm saying, like who brought you in the company, who in the company. It's more of a who kind of thing. Which, I can play that game, but I would rather just achieve. I would rather not.
Oh. Here's an interesting point. We're raising men who don't know how to use their hands to work anymore. And that's a fact, because there are a number of guys today who don't even know how to change a tire.
That's 100% fact, Ginny. changing the tire is just sad, but I mean, there's a, since I'm in the trade field and the electrician fields specifically, guys are having really hard time finding people to work that are any younger than like 30.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you get the hardest work out of like a 25-year-old guy or a 23-year-old guy. Those guys are. I started when I was 19, and you just bust your ass all day because you're used to it. And when the older you get, you guys know you can't be carrying that hard weight around every day.
Shoot,
So that's what it's for the younger man. But
yeah.
they're not doing it anymore.
Let me tell you, I'm carrying 50, 100 pounds every day. I'm an inspector out there, and I got to run tests out there in the field. We've tried to get some young guys on. They don't want to work. And let me check what Men's Daily saying. Yeah, society took out driver's ed, home ed, shop class nowadays. Hell, music class might be next. The kids aren't learning the fundamentals of surviving life in general anymore. That is a fact. And Brother Clue, talking about The Office, says the office is one big vagina. That's why I don't work in the office. And Brother Cortez says, even when I was at a rec center, I was younger and I refused to work in the office because of everything we were talking about. The field was actually fun. And shout out to Brother Kid Styles in the building.
Salute, kid.
Salute. Hey, I don't even know if I said what's up to you, Survival. I'm sitting in here cooking some
That's
steaks.
all good, man.
You cooking steak?
Oh, nice, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
Shout out to your brother Free Zone. And also, Jenny V says grandfathers taught their sons taught their sons, men teaching men. That's what we need.
That's true. That's true. I mean, that is sad when you brought up the point. It might have been Free Zone. Said maybe it was you that said kids can't even change a tire anymore. Like whose dad? Like your dad failed you. If you can't change your own tire, your dad failed.
Heck, the easiest thing to do before that was change oil.
I mean, you gotta change your own out, change your own belts. Do the simple stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a major embarrassment if you couldn't do that.
Oh yeah, if you have to ask one of your buddies or something, well then you end up learning from one of your buddies. But yeah, it is. It's a major embarrassment.
So we had Votech and everything. A lot of individuals, they went to learn how to do that. And I'm here in Indiana, and we got Ivy Tech Community College. Man, the guys don't even want to go in there. All that shop and everything that you were talking about, welding. The guys don't even want to go into that, man. That's the fun stuff. HVAC.
I know, it's totally the fun stuff, especially at school. And that's another thing that maybe some younger guys don't know is that you don't even have to go to school to get an apprenticeship. You literally just go apply for a company, whether it be plumbing, carpentry, electrical, HVAC, any one of those things. Laughing Dog knows. If you're a young man and you're able-bodied young man, I mean, if you're strong, usually they like to see the guys that were like former athletes, because they got some muscle and they can move. Yeah. If you're one of those guys that don't want to go to college, you can get yourself a skilled trade job at a very young age, and they pay you to learn. Instead of you paying them to teach you, they pay you to learn, and they teach you everything you need to know.
All right, got a poll up. Do you believe this country is headed in the wrong direction? 20 votes so far, 95. Well, that's 19 out of 20 so far. 95% said this country is going in the wrong direction, opposed to 5% who said it isn't. I'd like to see who said it isn't, because this country is going in the wrong direction because we have the Brother Clue just brought something up. They can't even drive a stick shift. Has anybody ever had to drive a stick shift? I had to drive one.
I've driven them before.
I drove a stick until the vehicle I'm driving now. They're fun.
I'm not a fan of the stick, but I know how to drive one. I made it a thing to learn how to do it.
I kind of grew up in a country-ish, rural area. Yeah. So when I started working in the city and getting in traffic jams and stuff, stick got old real quick. But
it got old. Yeah.
It's fun when you're out in the open.
And again, going back to the channel, Cortez, he used to work at Rent-A-Center. And even Jenny's dad taught her how to change a tile. And shout out to Kids Styles. If you don't go to school, you can get everything off the internet. That is a fact.
That's it.
And a lot of young men would learn more if the boss was a man. Oh, that's a fact too. It's not in a man's nature to be bossed around by a woman. It breeds resentment.
That's a pretty good point.
Yeah, that is.
Well, I think even if it's even not even just bosses, but like I know that there aren't many male teachers that are really worth a shit. But I remember being a little kid, and I just remember, and this is not me being misogynistic or anything, but I just remember.
This 411 Talk Zone, right?
I just remember.
Hey, we're going to respect the misogyny, bro. We're going to respect the misogyny here.
Well,
we're going in.
Yes, respect.
I honestly felt like I learned more, paid more attention in class when I had a male teacher, I had a male math teacher, and like, you know, the other few male teachers in like science class or whatever. I feel like I paid more attention, listened closer than when I had female teachers teaching English or whatever it may be. And I think that wasn't me making a conscious decision. I think that was just me being a boy or something. I don't know.
Well, you know I had a female that was an English teacher, and she was hard as hell on me. I got a C out of that class, and I was happy to get out of that class. Shout out to you, Alice. We're also talking about doom and gloom tonight. You may want to hop on the panel because there's a lot going on in this country, and all of this violence, the minimum wage, it all equals doom and gloom.
Hey, Styles, if you out there, bro, I don't know if there's a game tonight, but if not, man, come get a piece of this. It's right up his lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see Cortez in the chat saying that, you know, the male students respond better to the male teachers. I think the shortage of them is because if you can do a job, if you can work something, if you know a field, you usually tend to go to that field rather than go to the school and teach kids about it. So that's why it's hard to get male teachers in school. You have to find a man that's like actually passionate about teaching the youth, because otherwise he's just going to go make a bunch of money doing what he knows.
And everybody in the chat, Spam Survivals channel and Free Zones channel and Brother Laughing Dog, put a comment in there so I can mod you up, get you that wrench. So all the people in my audience, they get a wrench when they're in my chat and on my panel. Alice says all my teachers were cool. They were men, but don't cross them.
Yeah.
And Jenny says male school teachers in England are in short supply. You know what? I'm going to tell you why a lot of male teachers are in short supply too.
They're out making money.
Well, that's true too. But with the feminist culture, they believe that men are the ones who are mishandling kids. So men don't want to be around kids because of the.
There it is.
I mean, that's the main thing. They don't want men around kids, but it's the female teachers who are having their rendezvous with the students.
Right. Yeah. And also another part of that is that there's incentives for state and county, city governments to hire females over males. And a lot of the ladies that are going to college have degrees that are the same, if not bigger than the men that are probably applying for that same job. They always hire a woman. If it's a woman of color, even better. You know, it's incentives for the school. So, you know, the man is the last guy in line to get the job anymore. It's not based on credentials at all.
No, it's based on political correctness, Title IX. We don't get any of that.
And this is what it is, bro. Niggas ain't playing that game. Like, men aren't playing that game no more.
No, they're not. See,
I have yet to find a male teacher that's struggling for work. Like, any school will take them, but men don't want to do. It's a losing game on all fronts. Yep. You lose with the kids, you lose with the pay, you lose with the respect, you lose with. Come on, bro. You're paying me bullshit money. You're paying me bullshit money to teach kids that don't care and to instruct kids that won't listen to me.
And
Well, also,
you're
yeah.
basically a babysitter anyway, because the parents don't handle these kids, so the kids just go to school to get away from their parents.
And they don't just let you teach the subject that you're an expert on. There's a certain curriculum that you are handed to that you are forced to teach the kids. And so I can see if you're a based dude and you're working at a school and they hand you the curriculum and you're like, I don't want to, I can't teach these kids this stuff. You know, I don't feel right doing that. I mean,
yeah, but a lot of that stuff too is in the gray, and this goes to CRT and what people don't understand. Like you have conversations with people who are against the whole idea of CRT, and they'll say, "Well, where is it in the curriculum?" But when you listen to accounts of actual teachers and actual students and stuff, it's not. It has nothing to do with the curriculum. It has to do with the style, the way they're being taught now. And when it has to do with the style, you can easily just slip that shit in there.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
If you guys read in the chat, Clue's got some good points. Education is run by feminists. And of course, Jenny says some children respond better to male teachers because they don't have a male influence at home. And it's also rare for a male to be hired to work at nurseries because there are a lot of females. And also,
I think that's probably natural, though. I think there's probably a natural reason behind that. I mean, I don't think men are supposed to be nursing babies.
Yeah, Chaotic
for
Truth.
a job.
Chaotic Truth was a male teacher. And also joining the panel is Alice. What's going on, Alice?
Man, let me tell you something. The doom and gloom.
Here we go.
It's overrated, dude. These people are such pansies. I can't handle it. Like people, you could try to talk to people about solutions all day, one-on-one, but they're gonna point out everything wrong that could go wrong. Oh my Jesus! I mean, the reason I see the doom and gloom as non-productive is because it keeps people reacting and not acting. And they are y'all are right about the male teachers. Every male teacher I had, he was pretty cool, but you didn't cross him. Like he'd be cool with you, but if you got out of line, you didn't get your grades right, you was gonna hear about it.
That's it.
The male teachers were masculine back in the day. The ones that are male teachers today are kind of feminine.
Well, if not just straight up, they might just be part of the ABC culture.
They're straight cucks.
Well, that's the problem. I think, like, when I look at this boy, I'm like, where was his daddy? With this shooting, like, where was his daddy? And then I did some research. Come to find out, the whole reason he left his mama's house is because she cut the Wi-Fi off, and then he moved to his grandma. Yeah, that he had an argument with his mom, and then went to his grandma.
Cut the Wi-Fi off?
Yeah, that's what he was upset about, and he was all over social media. He posted the pews and everything. Like, I've been doing some research on it, but like, because of the doom and gloom, they got an ammunition bill that they've been trying to pass since last year. So they want to send ammo and guns across the ocean, allow them to be patriotic, but they're about to try to your gun ain't nothing without no ammo, man.
That's a fact. And also you have a number of these radicals coming out. They want gun control. And as we talked about last week on this panel, Alice was here last week on this panel, Free Zone was too. And all the states with gun control, there's more crime. Gun control won't work in this country. You're not going to take people's guns, especially not here in the Midwest and South.
411, I had a discussion with a Democrat this morning, and I got my TikTok live flagged. They said I was saying hateful behavior because I told him to call a crackhead, okay? He was like, we need more gun control. I said, name one time a criminal went and got a background check to get a firearm. I'll wait. He says they don't. I said, so who's the gun control for? It ain't for the criminals. It's to tie our hands. And then I told him, if you notice, all these mass shootings have one thing in common. Everybody is sitting ducks, okay?
Because they don't have, they can't defend themselves, or their kids or elderly people.
Well, they're gun-free zones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Like I would think that, the reason he didn't go in the neighborhoods is because he knows there's guns there. Okay. So his best target would be go to a gun-free zone. So that's what he did. And that's what's been going on. These people, like, I think we need to get the vets, the ones that still sound-minded, and give them a job and
You know
sit
what
them
else
up
they
at
don't
these
tell you?
schools, man.
Go ahead, laughing dog.
They also don't tell you what kind of pills these guys are on. What did the doctor give them?
Oh yeah, the mind altering drugs, man.
I'm
Or
telling
was
you.
it hormone therapy?
Well, I'm just saying,
Well,
like
you was taking
SSRIs
them
that they give
The
these kids for
SRIs, all the
depression.
psychotropic drugs that they get, all of that stuff.
Yep. And they were talking, wasn't it years ago, like the Prozac and the, I forget what the other ones are,
Like
but
Wellbutrin or something like that?
sure. Kids were
Fucking
getting mind locked.
Ritalin and
Yep. They're literally were getting ideas in their head they couldn't get out. And once they got that ideas in their head, they ran with them. And it was kind of the same thing. I think they finally did say something about that big one out in Colorado, those Columbine kids. I think all of them were jacked up with all kinds of stuff. And they don't say anything about that until it gets to court.
A lot of the boys, they put them on Adderall. Maybe that's what it is, because a lot of boys can't stay still in class, so they put them on Adderall or Ritalin.
They put them on Ritalin.
Well, Adderall is for ADHD.
Oh, they used to do Ritalin. I think Adderall's the new one.
It used to be Ritalin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I think is totally wrong,
Adderall.
because when you get a little boy that's he's a little restless. When you got him sitting in a seat and there's some woman droning on and on about teaching him some BS that he doesn't care about, and he wants to drum with his pencils or strum his fingers or make jokes with his friends, it's like, get that kid outside, like get him doing something productive.
Go football. Let him.
Yeah, anything. It'll be better for his brain to develop that way than locking him down into a chair and telling him he's a bad boy.
Yeah.
Well, another thing, they ain't doing stuff with the kids they should. I mean, they made school where it's not set up for boys. That's why the boys are restless. The Adderall is the same. It's synthetic meth is what it is. 'Cause they were trying to suggest it with my boy. And the way I got him to sit down is I told him to wiggle his toes in his shoes. That way he could direct his energy. A lot of these kids are running around. They're all on social media by the time they're 13, 14 years old. That boy was on social media. He was cross-dressing and everything. He was probably on that female stuff.
They started doing this pretty, I don't know when they started, but I remember it was starting to be pretty prevalent in the early 90s. They even tried to get me on there, because instead of, I'd be in class and I'd be kind of like a class clown or interruption guy for attention, but I'd also like do lots of doodles and drawings on my paper. And I was, I didn't have the best attention span. So they tried to tell my parents that I had to get on this medication. They refused it. They said, no, he's not doing that. And I turned out just fine. But I don't know. Yeah, the parents that allow the school to dictate what their children are, what kind of medication they're taking, I don't think is right.
Well,
they got me with it, man.
They did?
Yeah, my dad was deployed. They put me on it when my dad was deployed. As soon as he came home, that shit ceased.
Yeah. He's like, my boy is just fine. He doesn't need this shit. He's a boy. Like he's doing boy stuff.
Yeah, I was on it for 2 years.
Let me ask you.
That comes down to it comes down, Alice, to some of the feminist agenda, and who's making these rules up. It's going to be ladies that are sick of dealing with boys because they don't like the energy level that boys naturally have, and they don't want to deal with it. So to make their job easier, let's just drug the boys down. It's a terrible idea.
Jug them up.
I think
Shut
I
them up.
think it has to do with like the idea that because these are young teachers, they've never been around kids, and the destruction of the idea of how important children are, it has been deteriorating over the years, especially with boys, because like when I did that some research right on the time frame, they started to do the data collection, and
Yeah.
they made these feminists gave this idea that girls' voices weren't being heard at a certain age. I think it's between 11 and 14, but they didn't collect the data on the boys. The boys and girls both go through this shift in their life because they're going through puberty. So both of them, both male and female, have this feeling that they're not being heard. Okay, so because of the one-sided looking at data, the boys got left behind. They got rid of recess, tug of war. They started getting upset if boys draw guns or if boys draw like fighting stuff because they tried to do that with my boys. They was like they
Alice,
they sit you in a room. Did they
Alice,
sit you in a room?
did you see that? Like, I don't know, it was a couple of years ago or something. Some little boy bit his peanut butter and jelly sandwich into the shape of a gun and pointed it at his
Oh, I
kid, at
remember.
somebody else, and then he got us suspended for it. I'm like, who's in charge? Who the hell is in charge here? You know?
Yeah, I remember that. I
God
remember seeing
damn,
that nonsense.
that's
Those
total
government
nonsense.
schools. I mean, these
But
government schools, guys. I mean, they've been working this game. It's been a long game for at least 50 years. They've been trying to get it to this point,
I
and
think
we're
they've just been trying to emasculate the male
yeah,
gender, just to
yeah.
completely emasculate them. What do you guys think? So I've never been. I went to a normal public school in the '90s, but what do you guys think it's beneficial if you say you could afford it? Would you send if you had a boy or girl that was early age, all boys school or all girls school? You think it could be separated? Would that be beneficial? Because I know they have that.
I'm glad you asked that because my dad went to City College High School in Baltimore. That was an all boys school, and he did well. And right across the street, it was Eastern High School in Baltimore, and that was an all girls school. Here's just my humble opinion. I believe you need to separate the boys and the girls. The boys need to be under male teachers. I mean, looking at the chat, and Cortez had a good point up here, gets into mammals. Even if you look at dogs, they listen to the father, they constantly test the mother. And that's the same with other
Yeah.
animals. And if you look at what Jenny said, they had a male headmaster. The school was on top. Once he left, they put a female in charge, and then the school went down. And Brother Davis, he knew somebody who was a male. And if you're a man, why in the hell are you calling yourself a male feminist? That is an oxymoron. I've never heard of a male feminist.
They're cooks and simps.
Yeah. Hey guys, I just got a text message and I have to get going here. But it was good talking to you guys. Thanks for having me on. I'll be back again.
All right.
sir.
Hey,
Salute,
thanks for
bro.
coming up.
You
Yes,
have a
sir.
good day, Survival.
You too. See you guys.
All
But
right.
Yeah,
But
no, that male feminist shit is absolutely
never heard of
insane.
it. I never
well,
heard. Go ahead.
I have. They
oh
are
God,
strange creatures. They are
they're up.
strange creatures.
No,
They're
hell,
worse than the feminists.
Yeah, especially yeah.
they usually turn out to be freaking rapists.
Really?
Well, what I found
Oh
is like they have antisocial disorder. A lot of them, and the reason they're doing it is so they can have social. Um, there's something wrong with a man that doesn't want to embrace his masculinity. Okay, to begin with, that's another thing. Like the feminization of these boys. Look at that boy. I
Hmm.
mean, if you look at the pictures, you could tell like somebody was putting things in his head, or he had been watching social media. Like what they have been finding with this the alphabet community, the kids that are transitioning, they
Yes.
have been groomed with social media. especially the girls. They say it's like a kind of like a contagion. It's a social
Yeah.
contagion. They see what they like monkey see, monkey do. The girls will see what the other girls doing, and then they'll jump on board. It's kind of like when we had that epidemic of the what was it, bulimia. There was girls
Uh-huh.
that were becoming bulimic because they was like, oh, I'm so fat, and then the other girl would see the girl talking about, oh, she's fat, then she would think she's fat, and then it would be like a chain reaction. Before you know it, we had a whole bunch of girls back in the 90s real sick because they were doing the bulimia. Okay,
Well,
we are nature. What is it?
the
We are products of our surroundings.
the female is very susceptible to the hive mind.
Yeah,
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like when Farrah Fawcett had her hair and ladies saw that guys liked it. Oh, every girl had Farrah Fawcett hair. When the guys liked Jennifer Aniston's hair, all the girls found out and they all got a Jennifer Aniston hair if they could. You know what I mean?
my
It's
sister
just
Even
did
a
the
black
hive
girls.
Madonna
mind.
thing. My sister did the Madonna thing. Okay, I remember
Oh,
that. I was like,
Madonna.
I am not following trends.
Yeah, there was a lot of Madonna girls back then, and oh yeah,
Material girl.
Yeah, no, like a virgin. She would dress up like her with the little black things on her hands, the lace gloves. My
Oh,
brother thought he was Axl Rose. I mean, I have a big gap in the age group with my brothers and like my older brother and sister and me. So it's like they were 80s, growing up in the 80s, couldn't graduate in the 90s. So I got to see that phase where MTV, everything was when MTV had music, y'all.
Yes, it did. I remember like the Flock of Seagulls and all those crazy groups that came up in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And to join the panel got Melly Mel. What's going on, brother Melly Mel?
What's up, y'all?
What up?
yeah.
What up?
How you doing, y'all?
Whoa.
Whoa, somebody's squelching back there.
Ain't me.
Probably
You
had
know,
a blowout.
you guys were talking about the college financial system earlier.
Financial aid?
Well, how the college money works and why they're always wasting it.
Yeah.
Um,
Tuition.
Dr. Shiva, I think about a year ago, he did a whole rundown of how it all works. It's basically like a hybrid Ponzi scheme hedge fund. And you got to get it from him. Like if you get a chance, go on Dr. Shiva's channel, and he gives a whole kind of rundown of what kind of a ripoff all that thing is, that college is.
Well, you know, Laughing Dog, you make a point because all these colleges, when they didn't have financial aid, the tuition was actually cheaper. With
Yep.
all this aid, it
Yep.
just raises the cost of college and it
Hmm.
keeps going up.
Yep.
And students get out there. This is why I tell individuals, you know, you go get a doctorate degree, a PhD. Okay. What do you really need a PhD for unless you're going to teach? But you still have a lot of debt, especially if you go in there and major in something like religious studies, women's studies, African American studies, any of the sociology, or feminist studies. Yeah, you go get a PhD, you still don't get a job because there's no market for those types of individuals unless they go into law. But in the end, most of them want to be grifters and be professors because it's an easy job, especially if you go to a bigger college, because you got TAs who teach all the courses for you. You sit back and basically you might teach a class in an auditorium of 400 people, get all the endowments and everything, but for the most part,
Mhm.
you have to
You know
be
what those sound like? You know what those sound like? 411. They sound like activist degrees. Like the only way, like if you think about those ones you just suggested, those are the ones that get those and then write books, and then next thing you know, we got
I
more
was
books
just
that
about to
have
say that,
meaningless.
Alice.
Yeah,
Those are
they're social
activist
justice
degrees.
degrees.
Exactly. Nothing but my point of
And
view
then they
degrees.
wonder, those are the ones probably telling Joe Biden to pay their student loans off because they went and got this degree and now they can't get no job because there is no There's no kind of job for it.
That ain't nothing but a degree for like my point of view, and I could create something based on data I research, but even change a little bit and find a group of people that believe in what I'm going to say and write a book about it and have a large following. That's crazy what people do on social media now these days. Like,
I'm glad you and Alice brought that up, Melly Mel, because I'm gonna surprise you with this. There is a BS in social justice warriorship. I believe it's either at the University of Iowa or Iowa State.
The BS stands for bullshit, right?
Bullshit.
I told you, man. Social justice degrees.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
They don't pay nothing but clout.
What we call a bitch ass, a BA degree. Okay,
A BA. Yeah.
Because there's no science in that. A liberal arts degree, they're all BA degrees. But yes, there is.
That is crazy. So how much will you have to pay for that great piece of toilet paper?
Well, it depends. If you live in state, I don't know, but it's at one of the Iowa schools. It's either Iowa or Iowa State. Now, if you're out of state, you're going to pay a lot of money. And then I read, I wish I could have brought that website up. I think it was Iowa. But it said, well, we have a need for people in this field because of the diversity. And anytime you hear the word diversity, run for the hills. Anytime you hear multiculturalism.
Diversity is affirmative action, ain't it?
Diversity.
Yeah.
Now, Freegon, you've probably been to other countries, right?
Yeah. Been to Japan. Yeah. What's up?
I mean, who's more diverse than us? Like anybody?
Yeah. Closest would be India. I think India is more diverse.
India's got 16 languages because the guy I work for, he's from India.
Well, I'm just basing it on like different ethnicities and all this stuff.
But even though they're more diverse than us, they incur a lot more war and bloodshed and doom and gloom than we do.
Okay.
Because of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we're already diverse. We don't need to learn about it. Right?
Well, the people from overseas come to our schools, okay? They're like intern students. I was supposed to be one, all right?
They get pieces of something to come over here.
They come over here, learn this crap, and then they go back to their country and implement it in their country somehow. Like they tried to do it in China, and they looked at them crazy because they was talking about white privilege, and they all look the same in China.
Yeah, they do. Or over in Israel, they do the same thing.
Like it's weird. They was like reviewing the white privilege stuff, and they was like, "Huh? What do you mean the baby? The baby is a problem before it even comes? Like y'all are blaming the baby before he comes out the womb?" That's what the Chinese lady said. But let me ask you a question. So does financial aid pay for that? So that's like tax dollars, ain't it?
Financial aid. All right. Here's how financial aid works. Okay, you have loans, subsidized and unsubsidized loans. Okay, you have to pay those back.
Yeah, when it comes to a grant,
right? When it comes to what they call a COG, which is a Student Educational Opportunity Grant, which I believe it's a Pell Grant. Well, the way you get that Pell Grant is when you fill out the FAFSA form, you have to put down. Well, let me put it this way: you have to make yourself look as poor as you can be to get the full grant. It used to be you got $7,400 a year, which is $3,700 per semester. Taxpayers pay for that. Okay, and here's the thing: if you get over an overpayment, the students, some of them got $45,000 or even $5,000 checks. Well, they would spend that on themselves.
You could be a grown-ass person over 30, and they'll ask for your parents' background information.
Yes, they will.
I'm like, yo, 14 years old.
We're talking kids with no experience walking out of college with a debt of like upper 5, some 6 figures.
Mm-hmm.
If you add interest.
You're
Yep.
gonna have
Well,
interest.
let me ask you a question. So, like, the Pell Grants are government funded, right?
Yep.
So that
Mhm.
means, like, shouldn't we have a say so of not having to give money on our taxes towards these programs that amount to anything? Like, some of this stuff that they're teaching these people and they're going to get school degrees in, it's like they go into school, and these are the people that we see online that swear up and down they know everything. They're. I've seen them everywhere. I've seen them the Facebook PhD people, the YouTube PhD. Oh, I went to college for this, and then they think they're the holier and thou know it all. But
Yep.
I think we should be able to vote on getting rid of certain things that taxes are being wasted on. It is a Ponzi scheme because if there's
What is it?
programs like that, yeah, we should be able to like unfund them.
Well, here's the thing about the colleges. Everything comes out of the university. Oh no, not the university. The U.S. Department of Education. Now, I believe it was when I moved to Pennsylvania in 2004. Here's what happened. They found, and this is no joke. They found $455 million missing from the United
Oh,
Department of Education, and they don't know what happened to it. It's just like
Say, wait, hold on. Say that number again.
$455 million. It was missing.
yeah, just lost it.
Almost a half a billion.
Yeah, and they didn't
Half a
even know where
billion.
that money went.
Where is my billion? Honey, have you seen my half a billion? I know I left it here somewhere.
Oh,
God,
look,
check the
Oh, you
couch.
got the
Check on
Free
the
Zone, you
you
know
couch.
got
I
the
got.
Ukraine, man.
Listen, we already know you got big holes in your pocket. It probably fell out at the store. You know.
They
It's
did
just,
not recover that money. I'm telling you. And when I lived in Maryland, the city of Baltimore had $58 million missing.
Oh,
And see,
it ain't
well,
missing.
the whole system is based on waste.
right.
They spend every single dollar they get on purpose, will even waste it in order to ask for more
More.
money the next time.
And when
It's a
and,
freaking
and
scam.
when you lived in the state of Maryland, like I did, okay, there are 23 counties in the state of Maryland, and guess what they had to do? They had to subsidize Baltimore City
Oh,
because of that $58 million that was missing. So everybody else who lived in it, especially Montgomery and Prince George's, and they have some of the highest taxes, but they love it there because they're all liberals there anyway around Chevy Chase and Kensington and
Mhm.
Mitchellville and all those. They
Oh,
vote
they got a
Democrat.
lot of tax write-offs, don't they?
And
All
hey,
they
let's
got to do is donate.
let's throw this in there too. Since 401, Baltimore. Are you familiar with the ghost schools
Oh yeah,
and ghost students? Yeah, SKC put me on the other day. Like, yo, they're not only are they wasting all of this money, they're getting paid off of students that aren't even there.
that's
the
what it
Oh,
one
goes
you just
to.
the
found
one
out
dude
about
was in
that?
jail. The one
I
dude
didn't
was
know
in
anything about
jail.
that.
They've been doing
Nah.
that for years. Like they'll keep the kids on the roster. They found that the kids could be already grown or they could have passed away, and they just kept them on the roster. One of the I think it was that lady that was running for Republicans. She started to have them investigate the schools, and when she had that investigation done, they found that more than half of them were ghost schools with ghost students.
Uh-huh.
Woo!
A
Yeah, there
lot of
is.
funding.
But
Burnt
believe it or
down.
not, with the government, and I know Alice, I know you talked about it. There is when I talk about doom and gloom, here's what I mean. I'm talking about a number of the individuals who are not informed. They're led by some bullshit, and they're sheep. And
Uh-huh.
these individuals who are elitists control their thinking. And then people like us, we got to deal with these knuckleheads out here. And they're going to be in their feelings once we challenge what they say. And
Mm-hmm.
we got too many blind people out here that are being led by individuals who are selling them something. I love this country. I served 17 years in the military. I know Free Zone you serve, but listen,
Uh-huh.
they also sell a lot of lies to us
Oh.
as well.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
it's the American
Well,
way.
well,
I mean,
listen,
What?
411. Have you thought about this? Their propaganda. Like they put the massive shooting in front of it. Then they're talking about the extendo clips or whatever. You know, the high capacity clips. These are the little trigger words they use to
yeah, word salad.
activate the people. Yeah, man. And then these people that like. It's like they think we're so dumb, like we can't see straight through their propaganda. They only say this language like when it's getting close to an election, or they're trying to pass a bill,
Or they done
or
found out that Hillary done did something.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's just or the laptop, the real BLM, Biden's laptop matters.
That's it.
Yeah,
You got
The
because
terror.
things. They're just they're gone. That's
they're
it.
trying to deflect. They're
If
trying to
they
deflect
out of the
what's really
matrix now,
going
they're
on.
not never coming out, and that's just too
Well,
bad.
I found it's linked to fear. Like you could tell which channel somebody watches as news
Yep.
just by listening to them and what they're talking about. It's like they're mockingbirds. It was an Operation Mockingjay or Mockingbird
Uh
where
huh.
they used the
Well,
people.
411. You
Yeah.
probably remember this. You remember in the 80s, Generation X.
Oh, I am Generation X.
Me too. Me too, brother.
I'm the
So,
beginning of Generation X.
yep. And the teachers liked us
1965.
because they knew those that. Well, you remember they stopped talking about it. There's a generation in between the boomers and us that they used to call the me generation. Do you remember those guys?
I remember, but I haven't heard from him since. Now,
So they're
now
all a bunch
these
of
are
They
assholes.
changed the name of them. Now it's Gen 1 and Gen 2, if
oh
I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Okay. Yeah. So
And it
this
covers
me,
those times.
the Bernie Madoff types and everything. I was warned about that in 1983 when I was in the 8th grade. The
wow.
teacher flat out told me. He goes, "Hey," he goes, he told the whole class. He says, "I used to be in road work, and now I'm a teacher. And if anybody asks me what I am, I tell them I'm in the road construction because this is going down." And he goes, "These people in this me generation," he goes, "you people are going to have to deal with them, and they are the worst."
Yeah, they are.
And that's who it is. And but what else was I going to say? You remember when they got caught doing the subliminal messages in the commercials?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I kind of remembered it, and I went back and I looked at the when they got called into Congress. So they call these TV guys in, executives, and they say, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? You're blipping stuff on the screen, and you're doing subliminal messages." And their defense was, "We've been doing it since TV was around. Why didn't you say something then?" And they're like, "What?" They go, "Yeah, we've
Yeah,
been doing this the whole time."
yeah, Brother Bernard Davis, he's
Yeah.
talking about the Jones generations, and that's basically it's in 1954 to 65, which is really you're still in the baby boomers because the baby boomers were from 1945 to 64.
Yep.
Gen X was from 65 to 80, and from 81 to what is it, 96? That's Gen Y, which is the millennials. And then
So
from
that
90,
would be my mom's generation.
was your
See,
mom?
yeah, they stuffed those. They had that me generation. They call them in between
Yeah,
us.
that was most likely in the in the in the 60s, but
Yeah,
I
those
think
guys.
also,
Yeah,
and I think Brother Davis, you said when it comes to generations, and this is true, baby boomer males didn't teach Gen X, Gen Y anything because children to them were just a status symbol, not actually peoples. This is societal narcissism, and that's what he was talking about. And then Brother Clue, he comes up with some stuff. He believes that male feminists hate women. And shout out to
That's
Lawrence
that's it.
Rosano.
Oh yeah, that's
They
true.
they do hate women. They just use it. It's like a way to get close to them. The majority of them do have predatory tendencies.
And then
Yeah.
Cortez, we were going back to the pills. These pills prevent testosterone. Now, you got guys. Let me tell you something about testosterone. You because of some of this stuff, and I don't want to mention some of the people with the jab and everything. Some of these guys out here got low T. That's why they're taking Viagra, and all that has is side effects on it. All these drugs that they're coming out with, these educated people who are working in the pharmaceuticals, yeah, they have a lot of promises, but it's let's just be honest. Everything in America, it's a corporation. It is a big Ponzi scheme for the rich. I mean, when they talk about taxes, we actually pay the most taxes because when individuals who make a lot of money get above a certain amount, they don't have to pay any more taxes. And yes, society has gotten away, shout out to Jenny, by labeling people because they give everything a name. We had children who were called slow, but in reality, they learn in different ways. That is.
Well, you talk about them pills like men be taking. You know what I noticed at the gas station? We got a whole collection, right?
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
And it's those special ones, the
Mm.
special ones, the ones you take to make you happy or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Johnson happy. But what I noticed is younger and younger guys are buying them. I'm like, what is going on? Why do y'all need this?
Well,
In fact, you might have seen like some YouTubers. I think even some content creators, even want to do skits and everything. Even some of the ones in the manosphere, they sponsor and promote this thing called Blue Chew, the new blue pill.
Well, these are
That's not a beta pill I'm talking about. I'm talking about the actual blue pill that dudes have to take to get that arousal. It's called Blue Chew.
yeah, those are sold at my gas station, dude.
Oh, they sell the Blue Chew over there.
Yeah, like they're like $8.99. They got all kinds, man. They had a Spanish fly. That's a real
Old
pill.
school one, but no, the Spanish fly.
old school with that.
Yep. The Blue Chew's the new thing now. Alice,
But they're like they're
Alice. Prepare yourself.
they come and buy it. I sell it. Okay, that's just the way it is. I
Alice,
don't ask no
Alice, you better
questions.
prepare. If your man buys some Blue Chew, work them hits.
Man, you got young dudes buying this
for a
stuff?
week.
The youngest one I seen buy one, he was like 22 years old, man.
Yeah, because you know what? It's not just a lot of these guys, they jerk off the porn so much at a younger age.
Yeah, I think the porn is making them too overstimulated. I think
Yeah.
that's affecting their testosterone.
You got to see it this way, man. I mean, a lot of these dudes, they cashing out a dating game. They don't want to go out and mix and mingle because they spend so much time on hearing how females be dogging them out the way like they is. And it's like they don't want to put the work in, to make themselves high value themselves to make these chicks work for them. So you know what, they cash out of the market. What's the next best thing? I'm gonna just jerk off the porn. Fuck it. Like I go through all this headache dealing with a woman, but like by the time they actually do have sex with a woman, it's like it does nothing for them because they got immune to watching porn so much and everything.
Well, they're so overstimulated, they don't last long.
Yeah, it's like like how can you actually know your turn-ons if you're immune to your own touch? And it's like you got so infatuated with porn so much. Yeah, it's like you gotta.
And then it gives them this false reality that the women are going to be like the ones on the screen. Okay. Like, because they be doing some real strange things in them videos. Okay. From what I've heard, I don't watch none of that. I don't see the point in it. But like, they be doing some strange things. And a lot of guys will get the idea that all women are like that. And it's not like that. Every woman's different, just like every man. You have to get to know your partner. But it's like,
Hey, look.
Sad?
That sounds good, Alice, and it's true and all. But I got a
But
slight disagreement.
You know what's sad, Alice? There's a percentage of females that promote that and actually live that lifestyle in the way, like porn lifestyle. And they promote so much online. That's why you see most of these girls be having their Cash App on their profiles. Don't DM me.
oh yeah, I've seen them.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I was gonna say. Like the reason it's not true anymore because all you got to do is be the dude on the. If you want them to be the girl on the screen, then you got to be the guy on the screen. That's
You
what it's
know,
come down
I
to.
don't
you know
get
what's
this.
funny though? You ain't even
I
got to be
don't
the
get
hottest
this.
guy on the screen to get with these type of chicks. You just got to be in the industry in a way. Be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You just got to have the right Cash App money, man. These are the Cash
Yeah,
App chicks.
it's about the money. But Brian Davis, he corrected us with these generations. He says Jones were the tail end baby boomers. Yeah, that's offensive. My last name is Jones. Keeping up with the Joneses, which led to extreme consumerism and Genevieve. They need it because women have no walls and it takes longer for the man to service her. He need ex- he needs extra help.
you know what's so funny though? A lot of these
What
females be
woman
Boy,
caught,
don't have walls?
females be caught in a lot of their hypocrite. No, trying to
vaginal
being slut shamed, but they body shame dudes with the small penis size too much. Y'all remember Corinne Steffens, Superhead? I wrote that book.
Hey, if the guy has a small one, he should just tell her, look, it's not about the size of the boat, it's the motion in the ocean, baby. I'll make it right.
But you remember that chick Superhead? I wrote that book. Exposed a lot of dudes.
Superhead. Oh my God. Yeah.
Bro, I just found out she got a podcast now. She changed the
Superhead?
yeah. She changed the name too, called Elizabeth Olstein.
What?
Yeah.
I have heard
You know, like
Oh, shit.
What is
you
it?
know,
That
funny
Kama
about it,
Sutra?
she calls herself a relationship expert, a sex expert.
Oh no.
I'm like, what the fuck were these titles?
What is up with all these women and men thinking the relationship experts? You know, I noticed the ones that say they're relationship experts are single.
And they sluts out there too. And yet the funny thing about exactly, and the funny thing about it is the ones that are married, that got the traditional lifestyle, they get ridiculed and everything.
Yeah, that's true.
They got one kids.
It's because they're out of touch. There's a certain sense where they're out of touch, and a lot of those ones that are married have been married for a long enough time to where the women that they're talking about aren't the same women that these people are dealing with.
Yeah, because the radicalization of the women, they have been over sexualized just like the men, and that has caused the decline of the sexes. It's got to the point where men and women can't even converse anymore.
And you have a situation where men don't know anything about women and women don't know anything about men.
I guess that's the way the feminists want it, because they don't, that's why the feminists promote unattractiveness, because they believe attractiveness is a problem. But
it's because they setting women up for the okie doke, man. They want them to be the cat ladies.
If I see one more fat girl outside the house in her pajamas covered in cat hair, I'm gonna freaking strangle one of them.
No, don't say that. Disclaimer. He's just his opinion.
Yeah, this recent woman, this content creator, I followed named Real Femme Sapien. She was trending on TikTok, and she made a lot of females upset. When they add, she made a TikTok video about, a friend asked her, okay, how you married this high value man? She said, I was feminine, I was submissive, and I got the ring. It's no, and I want to be a stay-at-home wife. There's nothing wrong with that. She was even breaking it down, telling them, like, you know what? I'd rather stay at home and do cleaning, and my husband pays me and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's no different from women going to a job, submitting to a boss, and do the same thing. So it's like, when she told me,
that video.
This female was pissed off. Like,
and you know what? Though that's becoming an emerging space, like an emerging niche in this space. Those are the ones that are winning, like your Miras, the ones that are doing it right.
Yeah, pick me.
Right.
Everybody loves to go over there and just hate on them, congratulate them. They do all this shit, and meanwhile, she's just collecting money.
Well, free zone. These women don't understand. Yeah, we can pick whatever man we want. It's just will the man keep you is the question.
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
They
Whole nother
forget that
thing.
golden part right
She
there. Will he keep you?
exactly, and she got kept. She got picked. She did what she
Yeah.
was supposed to do to be viable to that man, and she
All right.
a lot of females how to do it. A lot of females don't want to do it. They
Yep,
want to. It's like the funny thing about with feminists, man. It's like,
Yep.
yo, they preach about choice so much. Well, you got females that choose to want to be housewives, nurturing mothers, submissive to their husbands the right way, and you knocking these females. That's hypocritical. These damn feminazis out there.
Oh,
as
those
yep.
are just haters, man.
Yeah,
Well,
I call them fema haters. Fema
right.
haters.
I'm
They're not
feminine.
Just
feminazis, they're fema haters because they hate women.
Yep.
Yeah, women hating on other women.
Nah. All right, we've just been joined by my brother, and he's been a long time subscriber of mine, just like I'm a subscriber of his. Go check his channel out, my brother X. What's going on, brother X?
Peace, brother Leon. What's good with it, man? I see brother Free Zone up here. Lady Alice
What's
is
up?
here.
Open your mind.
What's good, brother Mel, brother Laughing Dog?
Everybody get the Teapot's channel. Hey, you streaming tonight, brother Teapot?
Yeah, actually, I'm streaming in about 20 minutes.
We'll have to get on over there.
Tonight's gonna be good. You might want to come check it out. Tonight we are talking about how we respond to things, but I warn you, it's going to be a lot of some graphic information. So you might want to check it out, man. TPOT investigates tonight. TPOT investigates.
Reacts to what? Like just what's going on?
You got to come over there and see Lady Alice.
Okay.
And see Lady Alice.
Hey, well, I'm glad you came over here, brother Teapot, because we've been doing.
I will open my mind.
We've been doing news and everything over here too.
Yeah, I'll be trying to get with you, man. But I just got in a little while ago. You send me the invite. I at least have to come through. For a few minutes, man. That.
I hear that, but everybody spam my brother Teapot's channel in the chat. Of course, he has a wrench here too, because he's got some good stuff after my live.
I see the title: Doom and Gloom, violence, minimum wage, gas prices. I mean, where y'all at? Where y'all at now? Y'all on the doom and gloom, the violence, the minimum wage, gas prices? Where y'all at?
Brother, we are. I mean, I've had to just spin these topics all around because they all equal doom and gloom. That's why I titled it Doom and Gloom. If you saw my thumbnail, we did minimum wage. We just finished talking about testosterone. Why some of these guys got low testosterone, and we've been on that. We did the violence. Another shooting took place.
We need some gas reparations. Who else is with me?
I have the gas prices in here. The gas.
I done figured out that this math for the gas prices is racist because it's the wrong numbers moving, y'all. Like, don't make what kind of math is this? Because like I watched the thing and my gallons move slower than my money. What kind of math is it?
Well, shout out to Truism. Yeah, America is headed for hard times.
It's coming, man.
Teapot grew up. There was a song by a group, Run DMC, called Hard Times.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. People better buckle in, man. Buckle in and buckle down, man. And
because it's going to get...
Make sure you got some money saved. Make sure you got some canned goods stored up in the attic or in the basement. Get your...
It's a perfect time to grow stuff. You ain't growing nothing, Teapot?
Of course. I've been growing my own food since 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to grow?
Tomatoes. I grow like 7 or 8 different types of tomatoes. That's what I like growing tomatoes more than anything else. And melons. I grow different types of melons.
To grow out fully.
It all depends. I'm in the South, so my planting season starts pretty early because I'm in like zone 9. and I can start putting seeds in the ground like end of February. So
oh wow,
by the end of June, I already got tomatoes growing, especially like yellow tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, beefsteak tomatoes, Romano tomatoes. They already popping out by like the end of June.
Have you ever done those Cherokee purples?
What? Purple tomatoes?
Cherokee purple tomatoes.
Yeah. I've been growing those for like 4 years.
You ever make like green fried tomatoes?
No, I mean people I know like that. And because I give a lot of my stuff away. But I'm not into the green tomatoes. Absolutely.
Oh, those green fried tomatoes, if you do the batter right, you gotta use a pancake mix and a little bit of cornmeal, and you mix it and the bread.
No. I need that country stuff like you, Lady Alice.
Sweet and it
When I
tastes
get my own
good.
house, the first thing I'm gonna do is build me a greenhouse. Start my plants right there.
Yo, Alice the one surviving longer than all of us, man. She be dropping all the survival skills.
Yeah.
You know what you got to do? You got to extend your arm out, grab the first thing you see, and stab it in the neck. Then you drag it home.
Hey, I'm about to go gator hunting, y'all. I'm about to go gator hunting. Y'all ever been gator hunting?
No, but I've had gator before. I've had the tail before. Gator,
you got to jump on its back and stab it in the head. And then you got your meal.
Yeah, but Alice, I bet if your kid was an infant right now and stuff, and with the shorts of baby formula, you'd be all right. You already be getting homemade.
That's another thing. If y'all know any women that need formula, do that look up goat's milk formula.
Yeah.
You can make it yourself. It's a sad thing that we look at this media, they're panicking people and they're not telling them the things that they can do. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm bugging out. Like, all this baby shortage, right? But before baby formulas was actually made and everything, other countries did homemade stuff. I seen a recipe from
the
Jamaica.
goat's milk.
How they talk about y'all up there nervous about being about showing the baby formulas. We didn't use baby formulas. We home cooked our meals to feed our kids. All the nutrients right here. Like,
well, I know.
Hey, Alice, didn't they have nurses back in the day?
Yeah, that's how they did it. When the white, say the woman, she had like cyst on her breast, because that can happen, or her ducts were messed up. They had the nursing moms. They still have those. It's just they're hard to find because they don't promote.
They could just Uber some boobs. They could just Uber some boobs now. Why don't they have Uber boobs?
These women don't even know what their boobs are for. They're too busy burning bras. They don't realize they're milk factories.
You might be onto something there, Laughing Dog.
Hey, take my ideas. I only want 1%.
Gotcha. Say less.
I just want to cut. That's it. 1%. You work it. I'll come up with the idea.
Uber boobs.
Uber boobs. Milk it.
Well, your boobs don't start working until after you have a kid, right? That's when they start working, right?
Actually, once
they can keep them going.
Kid, you can activate your breast again with the pump.
There was a kid that was breastfed until the 3rd grade we went to school with. I'm not even kidding.
Well, in Africa, the mom breastfeeds, then the daughter breastfeeds, and then the baby breastfeeds. They have like a whole connection. It's like a train of booby feeding.
Wow.
There you go.
With all that going on, I know all them when they take their shirt off, their breasts look like they holding 2 slices of pizza with an olive on that motherfucker.
That's not necessarily true.
Yep.
Hey, I know some that never breastfed and their boobs hit the ground, bro. If they would have breastfed, it would have kept them perky.
Oh, how the hell does that keep a perky?
Because it works the muscles in the boobie.
Oh, okay.
The boobie.
You know better than me.
Gloom, shout out to Gloom. Linwood is still being breastfed.
Right now.
He's
As we speak.
breastfed and hot
40 years old, still living at home. Me and Teapot, everybody's talked about him, and Jenny V says they have moms who donate breast milk to the hospital for premature babies. And here in Indiana, they just had a big delivery of I don't know how many gallons or pallets of just a day of formula. And formula's expensive anyway. What is it? Similac and infant milk?
It's like $38 a can, and it only makes like 13 bottles.
Good God Almighty, boy, more power
So
to
you don't want to do formula. That's why a lot of people don't realize that goat milk is cheaper, and it's better for the baby if you can't breastfeed. I breastfed. I had to my son got upset. Okay. I said, no. My boobies now, you eat food. He's like, come on, mama. He'd look at me, he'd be like, come on, I'm hungry. No, you hungry. There's a chicken leg over there.
Yeah,
well, plus you don't know what they're putting in that crap nowadays.
No, you
well,
don't.
I don't know what half them chemicals is, and I think that might these Similac babies. I think that's what's happened with the testosterone too. And people don't realize like the more chemicals we put in our body, the more it makes us like we are what we eat.
Yeah, got a lot of GMOs out of even watermelons are GMO. You know, if you go in the stores, you don't see any more of those big elliptical watermelons. You see those spherical watermelons. By the way,
Them
those
things is huge.
Oh, it's fine.
Like
It's hard to find watermelons with seeds in them now, man. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
No, these are the like spherical ones.
They're seedless. They're personal watermelons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
I'm like,
are GMO watermelons. I'm like, that ain't no watermelon.
They taste funny too. They're not even sweet, man.
Exactly. Yo, the other day I ate a seedless grape, and that shit was tasting nasty, yo, because I ate the grapes with the seeds in them.
So all this stuff like tofu, we don't even the health stuff is not real. And some of your fat-free stuff, they put a lot of crap in it. So this is what
I started home making a lot of my stuff.
It ain't fat free.
That's fake sugar.
Even bread. I home make my own bread from scratch.
That diet stuff actually, if you got diabetes, makes it worse because that elder lady, Miss Mary, I took care of. Every time she drunk a Diet Coke, she had to do insulin. It's like it skyrocketed her sugar, and they couldn't figure it out. So I took her off the Diet Cokes, right, and gave her 1 Coke a day, and the real sugar was not as bad as that. What is it? It's called saccharin, or
it's the aspartame. Is the thing that makes it.
If you ever see how they make it, you wouldn't use it.
Well, see, aspartame replaced saccharin in the early 80s. And me and Teapot were in high school then, and Laughing Dog, because back in the days, saccharin was supposed to give you cancer. So they threw that saccharin out. And see, a lot of people don't know this because they don't want this information. They like the drama, but some of this diet soda has a lot of sodium in it, NaCl, which is salt, and it could raise your salt limit and you get high blood pressure as well.
And it's hard on your kidneys too, man. All that sodium breaks down your kidneys.
Absolutely.
You don't know, like, no, when you eat fruits, that's as actual as natural sugar. You get sugar from regular fruits, but processed sugar that, you know what I'm saying, that's what's actually messing you up. It's the processed sugar. Matter of fact, I think when it's in this raw form from the cane and everything, that's actually more healthier right there.
It is.
They take that and this into it. That's why it's white and bleached it.
It's just like flour. Flour is bleached too.
Yeah.
That stevia is from a plant. All right. I had a stevia plant. One little leaf of stevia is like you put it in your mouth and chew on the thing. It's like you ate a whole bowl of sugar.
Oh yeah,
I mean that's a real sugar plant.
Yeah, stay away from that stuff, man. You better off just taking because what I do sometimes is like when I drink tea, I take a watermelon and I grind it up and I take half of the pulp and the juice and I just pour the tea in that instead of putting like sugar in it. Because see, I grow all types of melons. I grow black diamond watermelons. I grow I grow something called tender sweet orange watermelons. I
Oh,
grow
the orange one.
Jubilee. I grow Jubilee melons, and I also grow something called giant watermelons. I mean, them suckers get huge, but just weighing 20, 30 pounds. Go ahead, man. Start growing. If you don't like the watermelons that I don't eat watermelons out of the store. Because see those, especially those seedless organic melons.
Yeah,
Because
GMOs, that's what we call them.
yeah, a lot of those melons, man. Let me tell you something. The reason why they're seedless, I'm gonna tell you why they're seedless, because what they do is they inject a lot of hormones inside of the melons, and the melons are still young because they want them to grow, they want them to germinate and grow faster. So those melons don't have time to make seeds. They don't have time to make seeds, man, because what they inject them with, the melon is still young. It's an immature melon, but they've injected it with something to exasperate the growth. So it looks like a big old melon, but basically it's like putting a 5-year-old boy in a 20-year-old man's body. That's the equivalent. So
Well, the chicken eggs, like I got chickens and I give them scraps and organic food without the hormones. I noticed the eggs, the yolk is oranger and they taste different.
mm,
Like the ones that you get at the store really don't have any taste at all. But when you have your own chickens and you have your own eggs, it's like there's a taste to it. Like you actually have a taste to the eggs. Because
Yeah.
majority
yeah,
of eggs don't have
yeah.
those white eggs don't have a taste to it, and it's because they're putting so much hormones into the chickens to produce so many eggs all the time. It's burning the chicken out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. My wife want us to get some chickens, but I don't want to deal with that shit, man. I
Get
took
you some Rhode Island
no,
Reds, man.
hell no, Lady Alice. I took care of chickens when I was a kid. I don't want to deal with that
They
shit, man.
easy to take care of, man,
No,
and they
yeah,
entertaining, especially when you get a
no, no,
rooster.
no, Alice, because you got to deal with all the vermin and the rats and all the bullshit that be running
Yeah.
around there. No,
Well, the
hell no.
rooster, if you put him in there with him, he keep them away. I got a big white one, and he dances. He's got to dance.
And he keep the rats and the mice and shit down.
Yeah, he bad.
Hell
Like,
no.
he's the biggest rooster I've ever seen. He's like a gigantic rooster.
So you don't have problems with rodents and shit around the chicken coop. You don't have no problems
No,
with
as
rodents and
long
shit.
as you put the rooster in there, he'll keep
Just
them
like
under
the
control.
Guardian.
Hell,
No,
hell
here's
no.
the here's the here's the thing. Here's the thing with that.
Private
You don't have to
alarm in the
be.
morning.
in-
Doo-doo-doo.
Hell no.
Peppercorn also. Peppercorn. I found if you put it around the thing, it'll keep the bugs and the rats because they don't like pepper. So if
Yeah,
you got
well,
like plants, you can do peppercorn or you can do it around your chicken coop. I ain't had no problems though.
they say if you have like a mink or like a martin or something, he can kind of keep them away because he'll catch them and kill them and shit. But I ain't trying to do all that, because see, I don't believe in that. I believe that a lot of times the solution is in the problem. I'm gonna tell y'all a story, then I'm gonna go. There was a man who had a house, right? And when he moved into the house, there was a mouse in the house. He put down traps, he put down poison, he did all kinds of shit. He could not get rid of this damn mouse. So he went to the pet store. When he got to the pet store, he said, "Hey, look, I got this mouse in my house. I can't get rid of it. What should I do?" The man said, "Get a cat." So he gets this cat. He brings the cat to the house. He lets the cat go in the house just like that. The mouse is gone. Now he got this cat in the house, right? And now he want to get rid of this cat, but he can't get rid of him. The cat's scratching him. He's scratching up the furniture. He can't get him out the goddamn house. So he goes back to the pet store. He tells the pet store owner, he says, "Hey, look, man." He said, "I got this damn cat in the house. I can't get rid of him. I've tried everything." So the pet store owner says, "Get a dog." So he gets this dog. He brings the dog to the house. One day, cat gone. Now he got this big ass dog in the house. He's tried everything. He can't get this goddamn dog out of the house. The dog's biting him. He's taking dumps all over the place. So he goes back to the store and he tells the pet store owner, he says, "Hey, man," he said, "now I got this dog in my house. What am I going to do?" the pet store owner says, get a lion. So he buys this lion, brings the lion back to the house, lets the lion out the cage, lion goes in the house, dog is gone, same goddamn day. Now he's got a goddamn lion in his house. Now this lion is attacking him, he's tearing up everything. He can't get rid of this goddamn lion. So he goes back to the pet store. He tells the pet store owner, he says, hey, man, he said, I got this damn lion in the house, man, and I cannot get rid of him. So what does the pet store owner tell him? Get an elephant. So he buys this elephant. He brings that elephant back to the goddamn house. Same day, lion gone. Now he got this goddamn elephant in the house, and the elephant's destroying the house. He can't get this damn elephant out of the house. He goes back to the goddamn pet store, and he says, hey, man, I got to get this damn elephant out of my house. You know what the pet store owner tells him? Get a mouse. That is why I don't have chickens, all right? But I gotta get out of here.
All right.
I will see y'all on the other side, man. I had to come up here and holler at you, brother Leon. Brother,
hey, I appreciate it, brother Teapot.
Brother Mel, brother Laughing Dog.
We'll be on
Lady
your
Alice.
Sir.
All
Be
right.
easy, bro.
It's always good
I
to
will
see
see y'all on the
you,
other side.
All right.
Peace.
Brother.
Later.
That was messed up, man. That was messed up.
All
So
right,
like the problem became the solution.
yeah. Well, you know, hey, doesn't the government look for solutions to the problems that they create?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
What world are you living in, 411?
Well, they talk about them, but they never have. They really never have solutions.
Yeah, they create the problems and then they say there's solution, but they're the reason it started.
Yeah,
The problem is the solution. The problem is we need to get rid of them. There's a good solution.
Yeah. Going back to the sugar, Brother Clue says glucose is natural, sucrose and lactose are bad for you. And he talked about chocolate covered watermelons. Wow. Never heard of those.
Yeah.
Lawrence. They pump these melons with steroids. Oh.
Yeah, they've been putting these hormones in everything we eat. That's why the girls, you notice that the girls develop earlier, and
Yes.
it's because of what they're doing to the chickens. The girls that eat a lot of chicken, they develop earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It puts them in the hyperdrive. Like before, you would see girls developing at maybe 10, 11 years old. Now it's 8, 9 years old. It's like it's sped up their clock. I know when I was growing up, girls didn't start developing until they were 13, 14. Okay. But now it's like 8, 9 years old. They looking like teenagers.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah.
Like they're fully developed at
Developed,
9,
right.
10 years old. Then you wonder why there's these young girls getting pregnant. It's because they look like women.
Exactly. Why we got so much.
And then the boys get caught up because they don't ask for ID. Well, 8, 9, 10-year-old don't have ID. And they're watching social media, watching like Cardi B and all them, and they thinking that's the way to go. Thinking that twerking is working. No, twerking is not. I don't get that trend, okay? I remember Baby Got Back, but the twerking, what was it? Back that thing up. I'm in Georgia.
All that's nothing but booty shaking dance, and they just repackage it with a new generation. It's just
That's
like
all they do.
Just like with fashion.
Twerking ain't nothing but vibrating.
It's just like fashion. How women bring back certain things from the 70s and bring it back to the new age and try to repackage it like it's new.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Freaknik went global, man. I remember like back when what was it, 99, 2000 that Juvenile came out.
Yeah, he came out with back that thing up.
Yeah, and they had the Freaknik.
Freaknik is the first official time. It is the official day that twerking became a cultural dance.
It became the official making dance.
With Freaknik, it really started off just a college campus event. You have to be in a college to go to these type of events. And
they had it down and
they expanded it out in the street because the cities could make money off of that.
Yeah, Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach also had it back in 1990. That's when they had it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the booty like Humpty Dumpty. What is it? I'm a Humpty Dumpty.
That came out.
Do the Humpty Dump.
Yeah, 1990. Yeah. Getting back to the panel, Brian Davis. Shout out to him. He's always got some good comments. Sweet potatoes are good for you and used in root work. And Jenny V says, talking about melons again. If they're seedless, does that mean they're just female melons? What you guys say?
Oh, she's got jokes.
She does. Brother Survival's back. I dropped the link, Survival. Want to come back up. Homegrown melons don't grow is large. And
nearly as large? No, mine, they got 15, 20 pounds.
But I had yours, like you said, like remember when they jack, they grow so fast, but they're not producing the way it's supposed to.
They put wax on all the vegetables and the fruits. You know that, right?
Oh, these are What's the point of putting wax on the damn fruit for, man? Like
to make them shiny, and it's supposed to. The wax is supposed to keep the fruits longer. If you notice, your fruits and vegetables don't last as long. And the reason that is because they're putting wax on it. And if you take a bowl, right? Say you buy some vegetables at the store. Make sure you put it in a bowl and let it sit for 15 minutes in warm water, and you will see the stuff at the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah.
I tell you, I probably store it. Mostly put it in glass in the refrigerator. Yeah. Make it last.
And last week I was talking about the energy drinks. Now they have something in there called taurine, Taurine, or I think that's how you spell it. Well, that's that comes from an animal, and then your guarana, that's extra caffeine that they put in these drinks too, on top of caffeine.
My brother, I got a brother that's 7 years younger than me, and he was drinking 3 of those a day, and he had a mini stroke.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Yeah.
Yeah, with the heat. Don't y'all be drinking them drinks like I get guys that come from the plant, like the nuclear plant.
Yeah.
And they had to tell all the guys at the nuke plant that they couldn't drink any kind of energy drinks because it gets so hot during the summer that they had guys passing out on the job. So
heartbeat fast and everything, drains you like
people
don't think heat don't help.
Yeah, we got guys that come in and buy the Bing and the Monster, and not the small cans, and they drink them like it's water. Because I work out there on construction sites, and they buy cases and cases. And of course, you got some of them too. The real country boys, they follow that with going and buying a log of Copenhagen and Skoal and dipping that stuff too.
Oh yeah, those are. I don't like that.
Now, Survival says they put growth hormones in all kinds of animals and vegetables. Wow. Yes, they do.
Yeah, if you can't grow your own, go to the Mennonites or the Amish and buy your stuff. Like, their butter tastes better. They got cakes that they make from scratch if you like sweets. They make all kind of stuff. Their jams are real good. Yeah. They got this one called Frog Toe Jam. And it's like a whole bunch of different berries, but it tastes pretty good. I just bought it because it said frog toe.
Frog toe.
Tommy Jean bought some good jam, some crab apple jelly, and that was pretty darn good.
Well, making your own bread's cheaper too, because bread's going up, like depending on which one you buy.
Yeah,
and milk.
Bread.
Yeah, man.
How much is milk in y'all?
Hey, Leon, I got a dip, man. Y'all take it easy, bro.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Appreciate you having me up.
And everybody, check out Brother Free Zone's channel. Let me know when you're streaming. I know sometimes you stream late there. That's good. Brother Cybertosin, hey, the biggest watermelons grown for competition are not suitable for consumption. Shout out to Cybertosin. Welcome to the chat.
Well, how much is milk in your area? Because my milk is $5 a gallon now.
$5 a gallon.
Yeah.
Ours might be about
probably like $4 in New York, $4.50 years. But I make my own milk. I make plant-based milk. I know. So I really know. I mean, like I said, I make my own plant-based milk. Almond milk. I make my own almond milk, cashew milk, and nut milk. Yeah. So
yeah, the nuts has gone up too. The cost of nuts. They were talking about there's going to be a peanut butter shortage.
Oh,
don't mess with the peanut butter now.
Now, because I remember there was a Jif had a problem, Skippy, and we don't eat too much peanut butter, but I'm hearing about that too. So that's all part of this. And you're right, Alice, the doom and gloom. People create hysteria from it, but you know why people create hysteria? Because these are the dumb folks. I just believe that, and this is just my opinion, America's getting dumber. Because
I think people got so complacent and in the convenience of everything, they don't even know how to take care of themselves no more. Like, it's pretty sad that they haven't been teaching the women at WIC. We've spent all that money on that taxes to pay for WIC. They should be giving them more than just breast milk. Breast milk should be the first thing that they promote. But if they don't want to do the formula, they should be talking about other options like the goat's milk and stuff like that. But they don't even talk about that. And that's the problem is people's done got so used to convenience that they have lost their way on how, like, there's going to be a lot of people when there's no groceries in the grocery store. And they going to be coming to folks like me. But, hey, can you help me? I don't know. Can you work a hoe? Because you thought hoeing was good. Wait till I show you my hoe.
Yeah. Shout out to
Those are the best kind of hoes. They work the best, man. They actually do something productive.
Well, shout out to Clue. America's catching up with Idiocracy. Yeah, well.
Yeah, that movie.
You know the funny thing about what's going on? It all started back a long time ago, and it's just gotten worse. And and I don't want to say the millennials, but I'm going to go back to college again as we were talking. A number of the college kids have gotten dumber and dumber because some of the professors have left those communist countries and they're teaching in these American schools, and they're teaching that nonsense as well. And,
they're teaching the Marxist ideology, and that has to do with the sociology. Like, when you look up the sociology, it was all based in Marxist ideology.
That's facts, and that's the problem. That's why if you look on all these channels, what is it, the MSNBCs and the CNNs, and I used to watch Fox, but I got away from that. I watch Newsmax. All of the network news is horrible now.
Yeah, terrible.
So
it's more of a propaganda machine now. It's like it's to get you angry about things. I don't want to be angry all the time. I like to be chill, man. Like, there's no good news. They need to stop calling it Good Morning America and just say Welcome to Hell, America. I'm serious.
Yeah, but
because all they do is bring hell. Hell. Well,
we just got a lot of people in this country that have been made, in my humble opinion, sheeple. And those are the people that scare me, because those are the people that have a lack of information. They don't have common sense. And they are the ones in hysteria. I'm still seeing a lot of people. If you're not in the health field, you don't need a mask. People are still wearing masks out. They've made it part of their lives. I mean, I see people driving, and we've been away from the mask mandate for quite a while, but people have gravitated to that mask.
Have you ran into the masked ones that go to the grocery store and poot? Like, there was this guy, he was masked up, he was right, pushing his cart, pooting. Like, nobody could hear me. He said,
Yeah, well,
My son looked at him.
even though a mask mandate's been lifted in New York, though, but the companies they can still enforce it. What you work for, like on his own whim. So whatever job you working for, they still enforce a mask mandate on the work. Or people come in their store, they gotta wear it.
I mean, I've seen people on bicycles with a mask on.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you're outside and riding a bicycle, away from people, driving by people by yourself, and you're still wearing a mask. It's like,
well, the strangest ones is the ones that swim with a mask on. Okay, that was a whole new episode. Did you see the masked swimmers?
What?
This is new to me.
Exactly.
Like when I went down to the beach, when they opened up the beach down here, there was people in the ocean with them surgical masks, and they're not supposed to get wet, okay, because they're not meant to get wet. These people were swimming with masks on. I called them masked scuba thieves. I mean, they were literally in the pool with them on. They was in the ocean with them on. I mean, come on now. Like, they thought that they were going to get COVID from the water. Like, if you thought that, why is the rest of your body wet?
Wow. Shout out to Laughing Dog. He had to break from the panel. And I'm going back to my poll here. Do you believe this country is headed in the wrong direction? I got 31 votes, 90% yes, and 10% no. So
those must be the Biden supporters.
got a new person.
Look, I think our country is going in the wrong direction, but it's going to take people like us for one to say, no, this ain't going to work. And we're just going to have to actually speak up. They think we don't exist because the mainstream is the loudest. They're like a screeching dog.
And the only way for it to change, Alice and Mel, is we got to do it. We can't depend on the politicians to do it. They've already been bought by their constituents out there, and they're only in there for the ride. So we got to be the innovators of it. New person, Malatu, welcome to the chat. Welcome to my channel. Unfortunately, most people in this country don't choose to think for themselves. Hallelujah, that is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the critically thinking isn't there anymore.
No, it is not. Shout out to the Clue channel. Heard that chlorine kills the virus.
It does. That's why they found that out with the pools. Like, you know how people went swimming during the pandemic? The virus wouldn't survive in the water if it was chlorinated. It had chlorine in it.
Yes.
They proved that in 2020, man.
Hey, thanks, Malatu. And again, welcome to the chat. And I broadcast there every Wednesday. And if you got a channel, spam your channel in there because we do good work up here on the 401 Talk Zone radio show. I got good people who come on my panel, and we're going to keep making people aware of what's going on. If you don't get it from the mainstream media, we'll deliver it to you like the mail, but it's going to be much better.
Yeah, what I found is like with these doom gloom guy people, male and female, because you'll see it. Like their fear is dangerous, and the reason I say that is, you ever seen a scared dog in a corner?
Oh yeah.
It comes out fighting, and it attacks anything in its way. So it's like, because they have pushed the fear so much the last couple of years on these people, you'll notice they have more road rage. They're stressed out. They've got anxiety through the roof. They got depression. The violence is up. The people attacking each other, like relationships have been put into a frenzy. Because what happened was, a lot of people had got married and never got to know their spouse. And then when they had to be in the house with them 24/7, a lot of the divorce rate went up because they had married someone they didn't even know.
That's
not only that, also too, people that was in marriages for a long time but still miserable marriages. One of one of the people in the partnership that they in is having an affair, and unfortunately, something that affair kept them away from their significant other, at times, so they wasn't underneath their partner 24/7. Unfortunately, when we
Yeah.
on lockdown, they had to be on lockdown with their partner almost 24/7. So it's like now it's like I gotta be attracted to someone that I didn't want to sleep with too much all the time, and it's like now they being forced like crazy.
All right. Next, got my brother. He's just joined the panel. Shout out to Big Body Productions. What's going on, brother? And everybody, let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up.
What's happening, man? What we over here talking about, man? What's the word, man? What's happening, everybody?
Hey,
Oh, what kind of bike is that? Is that a Harley?
Nah, it's a Yamaha V-Star 1100 cc.
She glowing.
Oh, you got straight pipes though, at least.
Yeah. I like it loud
Yeah,
shit.
it's better to have it loud so they can see, they can hear you coming.
Damn real. You know the shits, girl. You know the shits.
Hey, Matt, we've been talking about all kinds of stuff, man. We've been talking about the violence because another shooting took place. You know that.
Man, Steve Kerr said it best the other night, man, in the press conference, man. These fucking senators need to stop the bullshit, man, and sign the bill, man, and like really lock down on this background check shit with these guns, man, and these people just get access to shit, and then there's no. He made a strong point though when he said, you do background checks for shit like jobs and all this shit, but what about clamping down on the seriousness of background checks for these hammers, man, these guns, man? Got these young stupid
Well, the problem with that young boy is he didn't have anything on his record at all. So when he applied, he was fresh out the gate. Okay, so that's not going to stop like what we're seeing today. I think like what they were looking at is in that area, that one area, is the mental health crisis is real in that little bitty town. Like they have a real issue with the mental illness. They was talking about bringing more people, like putting funding into that town to deal with the youngins, because a lot of these youngins, they ain't got no role models. They are of single mothers, and the problem with that is because they got single mamas and there's nothing but female teachers, they're not having the male guidance that they need.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would be nice if they can imply some type of psychiatric evaluation before you actually get granted access to have a weapon, as well, depending on where you from, your family background, and what's going on in the atmosphere that you're living at. I mean, all that plays a part, like you said. That area has a high number of mental illness, so
I would say is just like back in the 90s, stuff like that. Kids was they was buying guns from dudes selling it in back of their trucks. Y'all remember the movie?
Yeah.
Remember the movie Strap?
Okay, all right.
Watch that movie. Yeah, watch that old movie. How do something. This white dude was selling guns like crazy in the back of his truck. He went down south to get some easily. You know what I'm saying? He legal right to get some guns. He came back to North and resold them to dudes up in the hood like crazy. So
well, the thing is, we could put as many gun control. They did gun control in '94. You know what happened in '99? Columbine.
I was 13 years old. So, Columbine. Oh, yeah.
Okay, they put in that big gun grab in 1994 that had to do with the crime bill. It did not stop Columbine. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope.
So what needs to happen is they need to stop being so soft on these people. I think if they did do a mental evaluation on that boy because he was transgender, he could have screamed transphobic. You're transphobic for not giving me my permit. See, we've allowed people to scream racism, transphobia, misogyny, and all this other stuff to get their way. They can also use mental illness as a reason why they need firearms. Okay.
Right. And something else we need to check. I know Tommy James brought it up, so I'm going to get it out there. And you all may have brought up what about the water out here?
The drinking water, the chemicals and the bullshit that's poured into the filtration system.
Fluoride.
Yeah.
That's been banned in other countries, right?
Mm.
Switzerland banned fluoride in the water.
Yeah, we got a lot of bad water out here. It is bad.
Yeah, go get you some spring water. But I understand your concern because this stuff is just getting completely out of control. But at the end of the day, like, we could put in as many gun laws as we want to, but the criminals, they don't care about background checks. They don't care about gun laws. They don't care about none of that because they don't live under the same laws we do. That's like a lock on a door. It does not keep a robber from coming in. It keeps an honest man honest.
And banning guns not going to help either too. You got these damn ultra peaceful hippies doing like need to ban guns. Well, just like you said, Alice, if someone 5 dudes break into the house and try to sexual assault you and everything, and you ain't got no gun to take most of them out, at least 2 of them out, and the rest could be scared off. Then,
well, it's not just that. I mean, men have to go through that too now. There's people out there that like to come for men too now. Big Bubba might want to come, Mel. Don't eat that cheeseburger on that pillow now.
You come leave a gun. Well, I'm gonna have a gun also too. So if you want to die right here, let's do it. Like
them cheek clappers, you better watch out for them cheek clappers. They out there too. But yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, we need more logical people with guns because the fact of the matter is bad people are going to do bad things. Absolutely. So I think we need to arm the actual people with some sense to protect give good guys with guns to take out the bad guys with guns. That way there's a balance. That's the whole reason we have TUA. It's checks and balances.
That's right.
So I think with the schools, we need metal detectors. They say they ain't got the funding for that. That's a lie. Look at how much money they get per kid.
I was just thinking about that. How he stuck in the school with a gun like that?
He went through the back and shot the window out.
Someone's put the window. Wait, someone popped the window open. He snuck in through that way?
No, he shot the window out with the gun. He jumped the back fence. You know where the gymnasium where they have lunch and everything?
I didn't see.
That's where he went at.
But damn.
He jumped the fence. He didn't come through the front. He came through the back, and they need to make sure that that's secure. A lot of the elementary schools keep the back door open because of the fire safety.
I'm thinking beyond this. Like, this shit, I don't know how old this little motherfucker was, but he was
18.
He was 18?
One guy's 18-year-old, man. Because
this had to be thought out before I just got a feeling like this was orchestrated before it was just.
Yeah, he was. Well, I heard about him. He was bullied because he had poor clothing and stuff, and he took it out on a bunch of little kids. Like, come on.
He was transgender. They probably picked on him because he wore dresses, but it's like he had social media. You know how much the government be watching us? Like, how did they let him slip through the cracks? A girl had messages from him, and they had showed the messages of the girl talking to the boy, and the boy was like, I got a secret to tell you. And on his TikTok, he was telling kids they needed to be scared of him. So it's like they had all the information, they just did not do anything about it.
No, because you know why? Because a lot of people will say anything. They won't take him seriously.
Well, he's been posting stuff since April.
That motherfucker couldn't grow up with me. I'm an 80s baby. I went to school in the 90s, man. We made if you was a faggot, we made fun of you, and that's just what it was. You better keep that shit tucked. If you were a faggot, you better not come out and open with that shit. We made fun of faggots coming up, man.
Yeah, what did they call it? Smear the queer.
No, we're going faggots. We call them sword fighters, clit lickers. We call them all kinds of shit.
What is it? Carpet munchers, curtain climbers.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But you call a female lesbian a carpet muncher, she take that as a compliment. That ain't gonna work.
What?
We don't mind them.
That ain't gonna work on a carpet muncher.
When I grew up, there was none of those type of people until I got to high school, and then it got.
Let me tell you, they weren't around. They just weren't open about that shit like they are now.
It
When they were in high school, they were.
They became more open, like in the late '90s and stuff like that, especially in New
That
York.
2000s, because of Jerry Springer and Mark.
Exactly, Jerry Springer, all that stuff, and then we got the Pride Month and everything. New York, we have that Pride Parade and a weekend festival, and day festival and everything. So that all started happening late '90s, early 2000s, stuff like that. So they became more and more open about it. That's
my friend wanted me to go to that Pride Parade. I was like, dude, do you realize I'm straight? He's like, well, you can have fun down here. I said, I don't want to see none of that, brother. Okay, I appreciate the invite, but I'm gonna have to decline your offer.
Yeah, you got girls that ain't even they're not even lesbian or bisexual, and they still go to Pride parades just for their friends.
Yeah, because they're what is it called? It's called virtue signaling. It's like when they put them black boxes on Instagram.
I know some dudes that's not even gay that just go there and try to holler at bisexual.
No. They gay. If you want to surround yourself around that shit by choice, you're a faggot. You're a faggot.
No, they do that actually go there just to holler at bisexual chicks.
He is right.
I'm New York. I've seen it. Trust me.
You have a choice in life. Huh? If they going around that mall, because the pussy's everywhere. If you go to a fucking
that's what I'm trying to tell you, brother. I mean, that's your point of view, but I'm trying to tell you.
No. He is right because my friend
use that as a strategy to get pussy also too.
But let me tell you something real quick. My friend, she had a guy. They started going to gay bars, right? He swore up and down he was taking her to these things because she wanted to go. Well, guess what she found out? She found him at the house with one of the people at the club, and it was a whole man. So that is suspect. If a man wants to go to one of them things, I'll be questioning him.
Look, I got a PhD in niggerosity, bullshit, and street shit. Okay? Motherfucker can't piss on my back and tell me it's raining. Fuck that shit. If you want to selectively hang around a bunch of fucking weirdos to go pull some pussy, when you got an open field of fucking world out here, you go by choice to hang around some faggots to quote unquote pull some pussy. You have faggot tendencies, man. Yep. You have faggot tendencies.
He said, I got that gaydar and it's going off. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, for real, man.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's even more sick though? They got the little kids over there too. The way they be dancing, like I'm like, yo, what are they dancing? They got this little boy dancing. I'm like fighting a bunch of pedos around this dude. Are you hyping him up?
10-year-old little boy.
Like, yo, this is
10-year-old little boy.
Yeah. Well, look up the radical fairies. That's the people that were pushing. What they're trying to do is get the society adjusted to adults being with youngins. Okay, they've been working on it since the 60s. That's why they said love is love. Mm-hmm. They even have it in the DSM-5. It says that it is a mental condition now. So they can justify doing things now and say, oh, it's just my mental illness. Like in California, they had dropped the age down.
10 years. If you're 24, you can have at it with somebody 14.
Yep.
Gambler, North American Man Boy Love Association. Shut up.
All right, we're all of Asian adults here. Let's be for real.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be 37 this year. Let's take 10. Fuck, we'll even shave 15 years off. What the fuck could I possibly, with everything that I've been through in life to where I'm at now, what the fuck could I possibly have to say and do with somebody 15 years younger than me? Really, like we can't be on the same playing field or talk the same shit. We really can't.
So you're gonna be 37 this year?
Yes.
I am too. So you're 85er.
Yeah, I'm 85. Yeah, July 23rd.
Oh, July?
July 23rd.
I'm a few days for you. Ain't that something?
I'm a Leo though, baby. You might be a Cancer. I'm a Leo.
I am a Cancer.
For me, as long as she's over 21, she could buy liquor without showing a fake ID. And then the gym.
To be honest with you, like women these day and age are not mature enough until they're like 21 to 25. They really ain't ready to settle down. So if you get them at age 21, they might be ready, but it's more to wait at
freedom that way,
25
yeah.
because
Oh,
they wild as hell
Man,
in puberty.
you must live in the hills because
30 and 40-year-old females ain't mature these days. Get a marriage.
Hell no.
No, I'm talking about the ones that have been raised right. A lot of them ain't ready until like 2025, between
The ones
21
that
and
have the ones
25.
that gave them a 2-parent household, they'll be ready by 24, at least 25 to be married. And then,
That's why I said between 21 and 25. Okay, if they're younger than that, they're still in their party phase. I'm just giving you from my experience with women. Okay, looking at women.
I'm
So
gonna
yeah,
give you mine from my experience of dealing with the streets, these hood bitches. And I've been on both sides of the tracks. I've been in the suburbs and the streets. And these
the
motherfuckers
hood ones
immature.
ain't ever gonna be ready. You know that, big body. Them hood ones ain't ready.
You got your
these
few.
chicks of all ages in the cities like I have, ain't none of them mature ready, no matter if you're 21.
I was about to say that, Mel,
31.
because you even got women my age. I'm 57. They
Exactly. Vivica A. Fox is around your age, right? 4-1.
I mean,
That bitch ain't never gonna grow up mentally.
She ain't mature. She
They think the ones in the hood think ratchet is classy, and that's just not happening.
well, a lot of them want to, they mess up their lives, and then they get my age, and now they want to settle down and be reborn again virgins, which that doesn't exist. They want to date like they have all these high expectations, but nothing deliver. I'm like, well, you're a high mileage used car. You've already been dinged up. I mean, why would somebody invest their time in you when they can go get somebody worth a little more? Because go ahead, man.
It's crazy you said that shit, Leo. Like, check this shit out, right?
Yeah.
I had this Section 8 bitch. Little fucking little 27-year-old bitch. She's 28. Excuse me. Let me give her her extra year. The bitch had the nerve to ask me a question because I just recently came back home and shit. Because my mom lost her brother. She got some health issues, and the way cost of living is. I said, look, I'll come home, I'll help you out, I'll be there for you. But I said, I'm gonna eventually, leave the nest again. I'll stay for a while, just So I let the little Section 8 bitch know my story and shit. Mind you, this is the bitch whose rent costs $25 a month. This bitch is gonna ask me one night, how do you expect to build with a chick, or I expect a chick to take you serious when you go back and live at home with your mom? I said, oh, bitch, excuse me? Excuse me? I got real bills going on. I got real shit going on. I'm not just living off my mom. I'm covering her expenses and my expenses. Motherfucker, I'm covering your expenses as well, bitch. Ain't you on the system? Shit. I run my own business, matter of fact. What the fuck do you do?
I know you're not dealing with her now, but was this a chick you was dating seriously?
No, I just threw dick in and once in a blue moon, but we kept good conversation. We kept good conversation until that one. I said, man, I had to read this bitch her rights, man.
You had to read her rights.
Nothing, man. If I'm just smashing it. We ain't words. Especially such a chick.
Look, those type of women I have found they like to have the unrealistic idea because they got a place that they are independent. They're not independent, okay? They're dependent of the system.
I remember years ago this chick I met, right? And my brother's arms building and everything. They neighborhood. And unfortunately, she was cute. She had an apartment upstairs of her own and single mother. But I called her the next day and she busy asking me, you got weed? And I don't smoke. I don't got no weed and everything. Well, I wanted to chill. I was like, yo, we can't chill together and everything because you can't buy me no weed bag while I'm gonna deal with you. I was like, what? You know what? And I just hanged up on her, like, you know what? Have a good day. Shit. Like, yo, you're a Section 8 chick, and you don't want to chill with me because I ain't gonna buy you your weed. Like,
well, you should have went outside to them dandelions and got that weed and put it in the bag and say, "Have at it, honey."
I ain't gonna give her no bag for her like that anyway.
No, I would have gave her real weed, like from the grass.
Exactly.
Since she tried you, you should try her.
Smoke that.
I got jokes though. I got jokes
from me.
That's crazy. But you got so much.
This was like years ago though, but I remember that.
No, but I know what you're talking about, Mel, because you get some of them who
these hood booger chicks and shit. That's why I was at my naive age, and I was like, you know, she still look cute. I want to smash and stuff, but you know what I'm saying. But now, yo, I ain't doing no hood booger chicks. I don't care.
But they have some of the most unrealistic expectations, even the ones with kids. I mean, I would hear. I think Kendra G. She works up in Chicago, and she was on. She was on. She on Kevin Samuels one time. No, she had her own show, and these women would get on her show and ask. I mean, ask for the. Really, they're asking for a man that doesn't exist. I said, no man is going to, in his right mind, a smart man is going to sweep you off your feet. He might use you as an HT human toilet, yeah, but that's about it. But he's not going to take you seriously. We got all these babies by different daddies, and you expect them to.
Well, what I found is them women, they get this expectation that the next man is supposed to pick up the slack of the man that didn't do, and that's just not being realistic.
Cleanup man?
No, what I'm saying is they're wanting a man to pick up the slack of what the other man did not do. See, they see that as upgrading. When they find somebody that's willing to be with them, then they put too much on the man. They have too high expectations of the man. They're not being logical. They're being too demanding. You can't do that. If you've already been through a situation, you can't expect the next one to come along and pick up the slack of what the other man didn't do. Okay, that's just like a single father. Like my friend, he's a single father, and he was trying to date, and the women would treat him some type of way because he was a single father. And I said, I hope you're not expecting her to be the mama like some of these women do. Now, if she wants to accept your child, that's a different thing. Okay, that's the same thing with women. The man has to accept the children.
Well, ain't a package deal. Now that's where women get in trouble. Ain't no package deal. Nah, ain't no. You know.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it has to be a understanding. It's like when my dad got with my mom. She had 2 kids, so my dad adopted them. But my dad wanted a big family and was told he couldn't have kids. So that's why he got with my mom, because she had kids. He wanted that family. My daddy came from a big family.
The reason why I said a man doesn't accept the kid, are the kids going to accept that man? Hell no. And again, and I've said it.
Say baby.
You got someone with grown kids still living at home. Are they going to accept that man? No, because the kids are selfish. They want the mom all for herself, even if the mom wasn't doing anything, because they're used to having the mom and the kids, and they don't want anybody, no matter how good the man is. That's why I said it in a long time ago that if you are a single mother and you're still raising kids, no, you're just you get somebody with kids, because unless you have handled your kids properly, most of these kids are selfish, and you're always going to be in the middle if you're a single parent trying to date.
Especially
it is a task when you are a single parent trying to get out there, because there is crazy people. But I have noticed, like, not just with the single moms, the single fathers, like, because there is a rise of single parents on both sides, like the male and female. Like, the dating scene right now is not something you want to get in.
It's always different with the single fathers and stuff, because we're the ones that implement a disciplinary structure that, you know what, even with dating everything, them kids ain't gonna cross that line, because we handle that discipline. But see, with the mother that's so lenient, especially if she had
mother's too permissible.
If she has a son, she that's the boyfriend, the son husband and stuff. So we want for dude to come in.
I found it's the ones that don't have any kind of men in the boy's life that it becomes a problem. Like my friend, she has boys. Her boys completely act different than mine, and she's a single mom. I can't even let my boys around her boys because they are just
but something.
bad.
Matter of fact, I had this passionate. Like she was talking about her sister, her nephew, 18 years old, talked to his mother like that's one of talked to his mother. His mother talked to him like they friends out in the street, like his college down the street.
Oh, that's a problem.
Very lean, let him do what he want and everything. He can disrespect. She asked overly lenient. I was like, yo, this boy needs a man to kick his ass. I mean, really beat his ass.
Yeah.
He never had that. That's why he's acting the way he's acting.
Well, something else to tell you all, and I put it, and maybe I ought to go through that because I still got maybe 30 more dating rules to go through. You got some mothers now taking on their grandkids and they're trying to date. That's a no as well. Okay. When you got extra luggage, don't take it now. And I warn individuals, if you're gonna, I can't tell guys not to smash, but you're dealing with these grandmothers out there who are raising their daughters' kids, because that's basically what's happening. No, don't do that either, because you get yourself in trouble. Kids will lie and they don't like you and said you did something to them. It's a lot of bullshit that goes on with that. But
well, you are right about that. Like with the dating thing, you have to think about what kind of responsibilities do you really want to take on. And if you're not willing to have extra responsibilities, you need to find someone on your level. It's on a personal, understanding of what you want out of your relationship, what kind of relationship, what will make you content. That's what I feel, that when you're looking at dating, you need to have your own life. Your list is good though, 411. I think it gets people thinking.
Well, I got some more I haven't even gone through. I mean, I stopped at 70. I still got 71 through 100 to do, and then probably be some more.
You got that many?
Oh, Alice, I had, because I look at the situations, because a number, and I don't blame it all on the women, but a number of women in certain situations, they're asking a lot for, hey, what's going on, Celine? Welcome to the chat. They're asking for a lot, but they don't have anything to offer but something used up already that other guys have gotten, and they expect the new man to be, I call it the cleanup man or the ambulance man. And
is that what you call them?
That's what they are.
You know what's more sad? There's this chick on Instagram. I'll follow. Let me comedian and everything. Cute and everything. She has a man now, but the children she has, that's not the child's father. One of them has Down syndrome. So, I mean, not Down. He's autistic, right? So, when she's a little cutie also too. Like, she got a nice body and everything. Yeah, but she has a that New York masculine demeanor and Latina and everything. But she got a man now. When they ask her questions and stuff like that about, your man's lucky to have you. She come back and answer, you're right, he is. He is lucky to have me and everything. Because I'm the table and everything. It's a joke, but inside that joke is some truth. Like, I'm like, okay, I know you're being funny, but I know there's some truth behind it. How is he lucky to have you?
Yeah, I mean, you got no options.
I don't care how fine you are. She's fine and everything, or maybe some understanding, but the reality is also too, you have a package, double package. One of them is an autistic kid, also, but that's a little bit more package you got. He got that deal with. I will say, like, yo, you're lucky to have him, not the other way around. And you got these single mothers got that attitude, like I'm the tank and all that shit. Like, dude, lucky to have me because they just base it off. I still look good.
Doesn't matter if you look good or not. Yeah, like this comment. You don't pay sticker price for a 20-year-old car with 300,000 miles on it.
Got that right, exactly.
Correct, Celine. And women are supposed to be supportive to their man, like Nate says, physically fit, feminine, cooperative, convivial, and submissive. Well, not with these feminist women out here. They're not there.
No, because they're conceited and ego led. If you hear a woman that boasts like that, joking or not, she's more than likely has an ego issue. Like, she probably more than likely does not treat him right. And that's just because you look at her attitude. she's not discreet about it. When a woman is submissive and discreet, she doesn't have to boast about what she is
No,
to that man.
no, and
No, she
that
It's just
probably
relevant. You'll see it in what she does and everything else. She doesn't have to boast. See, that's another thing. That boasting is not a real feminine behavior. It's more of a masculine thing that a woman would try to boast, because you know how guys, when they y'all play your games and you're competitive, the competitiveness is more of a masculine thing than
right.
a feminine thing.
And
So it's
coming
like I see the boasting as not being feminine. There's no reason to brag or be like
and
boastful.
and that's why you come out, I got a degree, and okay, yeah, so what? What's it in? You know, I
Yeah,
got
the
this
women don't realize that those documents don't mean nothing to men.
mean doesn't mean anything, and then well, what about my money? Well, we don't have access to it, so your money
He
doesn't mean
wants to know if you can cook, take care of the house, and tend to him. That's what most men want, is the submissive to know that they ain't got to worry about you running in the streets, that you going to be there, you going to take care of him. That see, women have a lot of these what are they called? These women that's been sold on this idea of independence. I was doing some research with the USSR women, like
yeah,
back in the day when they started to tell women that they were going to be independent. All they did was unprivatize a woman's life and made it public. They
whoa,
put them in the same jobs they would have been doing at home, which was teaching, cooking, cleaning, nursing, because a woman, when she's in her private state of home, she's going to be the nurse, she's going to be the teacher, she's going to be the cook, she's going to be the cleaner, she's going to be the referee for the kids. You know what I'm saying? And then daddy's going to come and he's going to be the one to lay down the law. But it's like, because we've got away from the gender roles, women are so displaced, they're doing the wrong things, and then they wonder why they can't find no one. And it's
well,
because it's their perception.
right, and this independence, many of them are yet they have a job, and I guarantee their job that they got is through some type of affirmative action, a welfare program, just like Tommy Jean told me, Sweet Chocolate told me. They had a program where they sent them to school, and this all came from the Welfare Work Act back in 1996. And this is why a number of them boast about the degrees, but their degrees aren't in anything that's real significant. And even if they are, doesn't mean anything. Can you be domestic? Do you understand a man? And a lot of them think they're the prize. That's the problem, because they got this. And they act like when they do something, it hasn't already been done before. Yeah, I can go to work 12 hours and still come home and cook. Many of them think that's an accomplishment. No, that's what you're supposed to do. And that's why I would say,
Yeah, they don't like. They like to say, "Oh, look what I did."
you
No, what are you boasting about? It's just like a person that actually does everything they're supposed to. I've heard women boast about, "Oh, I got a car, I got a house, I got a job, blah blah blah." You
you're
know
an
what I
adult.
tell them? You know what I tell them? Welcome to being a regular ass person. I sit your ass down somewhere.
That's right.
I share this.
You are an adult.
Yeah, I wanted to share this video. Yes, real quick.
All right, let me open it up. Okay, go ahead and pump it up. Can
Yeah, this is the video I was talking about. I know I'm one of our mods on the channel. Yeah, called Real Femme Sapien, and this is
let's hear
trending
it.
now on TikTok. That pissing a lot of women off because she did what she's supposed to do. And matter of fact, she got the advice from Kevin Samuels at the time.
Uh-oh.
Now that at the time that was a boyfriend and stuff, and she listened to Kevin Samuels, and finally she got married to him. She married now. Did what she's supposed to do, and she's telling women that you want to deal with the highest value man, you got to be feminine, submissive, and stuff. And it's pissing a lot of women off. It's trending right now. Yeah,
They're just hating.
exactly. I'm gonna play it right now. Um,
You got
Fair use. Even though she ain't gonna say,
fair use.
because we
Fair
sharing,
use.
but yeah, fair use.
Fair use.
Okay, Allie, show me your ring. Now tell me what you do for a living. Oh, I love my husband. And how did you get that awesome job?
Is that as high as it goes, Mel? Why need some more volume in that?
Submissive. So
Can you hear it?
the secret.
Wait, can you hear it?
Yeah, I can barely, but it's enough.
Wait, oh, sorry, I'll be lying.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do for a living. Oh, I love my husband. And how did you get that awesome job? Well, I became a better human being, and I became feminine and also shocking, submissive. So that was the secret. So, what are your tips to women that want to be a housewife? To embrace it. It's an actual job. You just can't get it in the public or private sector. Like you need a man to hire you for it, but that's okay. When you think about it, you submit to your boss who makes you clean stupid shelves at your retail job, right? Like, wouldn't it be better if you were cleaning your own shelves at home? You know what I mean? If your boss wants to sleep with you in a good way, in a good way. And where do you meet these men? Well, I think women should work for the men that they want to pursue. I know that sounds crazy, but it's really easy. So if you think about it, like you want a lawyer, right? So then you should be a paralegal, or if you want a dentist, then you should be a dental hygienist. But these are considered, I guess, high value status professions. But I think that's a really good model that not enough women utilize. Because women will bully the woman who is the secretary that marries the doctor. Okay, but who has the last laugh? Like her in her mansion with her husband who's high and the baby. Like that's who has the last laugh.
That's all facts. They will. It's that.
Well, why they hating on her? She
Well,
just telling them the facts, man.
I tell
They
you what.
make it seem like the housewife is not a job, but it really
Well, the
is. But
reason why they're
do you take pride in it is the question.
the reason why they're jealous is because they have to go out and work because they don't have the extra resource while she doesn't, and because she is very domestic and caters to her man. And I don't care. These feminazis can go out there and talk all this independent BS that they want, but what they're going to end up doing, they're going to be working their fingers to the bone. And at the end of the day, they're going to be up in one of Teapot's apartment with a few kitty cats and some litter boxes.
Well, it's like that's why I was talking about it's the women's liberation movement. You know how they had the propaganda back in the USSR.
60s? Yeah.
They took the women out the homes. They legalized abortion. They legalized divorce. They legalized prostitution. And the reason they legalized the abortion was because of prostitution. They legalized divorce so that because the women were overworked, they were expected to go out and work and then come home and tend to the man. And it was like overworking the woman when she could have just stayed in her natural state, which is tending to the home and the husband. See, the government wants us women to make the government our husband.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. You even got celebrity females that are married that still carry that liberal mindset that's down this chick. You know, it's
Well,
like
that's why there's a high rise in depression and everything else in the women now.
exactly. Like, even the ones that are married, like the celebrities is even the worst. Like the liberal celebrity, they're married. They feel like there's one comment by that damn Strash Selena Johnson from the Fox Soul Hens and shit. Yeah, who talk negative about her about you hire a maid and stuff like that. A man needs to find a partner, a husband, equal. You hire a man. I'm like,
Men and women will never be equal, and people need to
exactly,
accept that that's okay. All
exactly.
right. In the
Absolutely.
inequality of the sexes, there is balance.
I said it some years ago, and I'm gonna say it again.
Good,
Two
brother.
dicks don't mix.
Exactly. Man, I bet Big Boy, you ever seen the Hangover Part 2?
I seen all three of them.
I gotta see the third one though. But remember that scene in the Part 2 when Excuse me.
That's all right. I know how it
Who's the
is.
dude that always got? I forgot his name. What was his name? Stu was one, but that always getting the extreme shit. The first one he married the prostitute, and then this one he wound up when he was so we wound up finding out he had sex with a transformer, a Belgian transformer, or some shit. Because
Oh
when
Lord.
that part when he said, "Yo," way he looked at it, and he was like, "Yo, she fine and everything, huh?" Like and then when he mentioned like. It was magical what I said when we both came, ejaculated at the same time and everything. When we both busted our nuts, jerk each other off, then we come. And he was like, wait, what? Wait, say it again?
Yeah.
I was like, I have to rewind that part. Oh, this is like you say, big boy. This don't miss. No miss.
But Mel, you are right about the single fathers. I have noticed the behavior of the children are a lot different than with the single mamas.
Yeah,
There is a big difference.
Fathers,
Fathers.
disciplinary structure and everything.
Yeah, authoritative, disciplinary.
That's why
That's what I'm saying. I have
not
noticed that.
allowing a lot of men to want to have custody of their kids the way they want to. We want custody of our kids.
Well, if you look at you remember like when they shut the schools down, Teapot's been going over these old mamas, right?
Yeah.
And then I think about how kids were at home more because of the last 2 years.
COVID.
I think that could have possibly be a part of what's been going on because they've been at home with the kids and they're normally not, and they can't handle it. They don't have I remember seeing a video on Facebook during when the kids were home. One of the parents was like, "They need to open the schools. I can't deal with these kids." Like the school is not your babysitter. Right?
That's right.
Like
Well,
they really think that the schools are their babysitters.
And let me get the Celine's coming in here.
A lot of single mothers who try and use their kids for control, especially for child support. Yo, get over child support. Let your baby daddy have custody of the kids. You save a lot of money. Problem solved.
All right. Celine says prostitution was never legalized except in the state of Nevada. Facts. And as a woman over the age of 18, as a United States citizen, I can get in my car, drive anywhere in the country with little fear, within reason of being attacked like many countries for women. That's a fact. And see, that's one thing that women don't understand here. They have a lot of privileges here, and they don't appreciate what they have. They want more and more. And in the end, they look like petulant children.
What's the country that they usually stone a woman to death for like falsely accusing the man? I forgot the country.
Yeah, see, women here don't even have
I think in Afghanistan they put that back in place because of the Taliban.
Though they low sexual assault rate is actually very low than you think it is because if you really going to accuse a man of rape, you better have some evidence because if you don't, that's your ass. That shit over here, false accuse a man is no consequences. Well, of course, they're gonna be when they do find out that man sexually assaulted her. There's consequences against him hard like that. So
Well, they don't talk about the women predators, man. Like they get off easier than the men, and that needs to change, especially these teachers.
Yep. And when you have way too much freedom without any order, it leads to bondage, lying. Many want you to believe. Yes.
Yep.
You've got to have some orders.
Freedom comes with responsibility.
Okay? I don't know if a woman should be stoned, but she should go to prison for that.
Nah, fuck that. She needs to be stoned.
Damn.
Y'all off to say.
She needs to be stoned.
No, I think whatever the man was looking at, whatever time he was looking at for the accusation, she should do that time instead of him. Especially if she's lying. Now, if she is lying, she needs to do every last year that they were going to put on that man.
Here's the funny thing about it. Some dudes, and I tell them, I've been wondering, all right, once it's been proven you've been innocent, why don't you press charges on her for false accusing you that way? Your reputation's already ruined, even though it's proven now that you didn't do it.
Well, they don't realize if they did do that, they could get their reputation back because now they have gone after the woman that lied on them.
I hate to
And
say
if
this,
they
but not
are
really.
innocent, they can sue all the media that lied on them.
But see, that's the problem. But as a reputation, not really, because some people just stuck in their own ways. Even if it's been proven, they got some people that still be like, I still don't believe it. I still don't believe it. He still did it. He just wound up getting away out of luck. Like
Well, that's why this Johnny Depp case is important because it took 6 years just to get it in court. It's like it should be a wake up call for women that you will be held accountable.
Yep.
And men need to hold women accountable when they do stuff.
Exactly.
I think men have been taught that they can't do nothing, and that needs to be untaught.
And that's right. And this comment by Celine, there needs to be extremely good evidence that a woman was assaulted, and she shouldn't be able to come out 40 years later like the women of Bill Cosby. Well, that's
let's be for real, man. They locked Bill up off a hearsay, man. They ain't had no real evidence against Bill.
It needs to
a bunch
be
of fucking punk bitches came together and said he did this, and they locked that man up, man.
There is a statute of limitations, but they didn't apply it to his case.
No,
they both ruled.
They also used the hearsay, which is inadmissible in court, to fucking imprison that man.
Yeah. They broke rules.
Yeah. So, but all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the 3.5 hour mark. So, what I'd like to do is for everybody to get their closing statements in, and I appreciate you all for coming up, joining the panel, and to the chat. And I'm going to start off with Brother Melly Mel. What is your closing statement?
Thanks for having me up, y'all. Have a good night. Till next time.
All right. And all right, Alice, what's your closing statement?
Well, if you're dealing with doom and gloomers, get away from them. They're going to be detrimental to your mental health. You don't need that negative energy. As far as men, y'all just do what y'all do best. Stay masculine. Women need to activate their femininity and take time to not just hear men but listen to them. And it's always a good conversation with y'all, man.
Hey, great.
I
And
enjoy
we'll
the
have
conversation.
one next week. We'll have one next week too. So be there.
But yeah, if you ain't growing your own stuff, grow it. If you don't know trades, learn them because times is gonna get hard, and the only thing we gonna have is our neighbor being able to trade with one another. So don't depend on the government.
Everybody get on.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. It's not necessarily money, but knowledge is power. And everybody here in my chat and on the panel, get on over there to TPOT. He's got something good. His live started almost an hour ago. So I'm going to check his live out as well. And Brother Matt and Alice, thank you for coming up. And I look forward to you coming up next time. Brother Matt, what's going on, brother?
Man, you got a lot of shit going on, but nothing's really getting answered and handled out here in America, man. You know?
That's right.
I'm going to give my closing words, man.
And by the way, your quarterback, just to let you know, Nick Foles will be playing here in Indianapolis.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Just to let you know.
As a starter or a backup?
He's probably going to be a backup to Matt Ryan. But Matt Ryan, he'll get broken up. He'll be starting.
Oh, okay.
So, just to let you know that. And you got Carson Wentz playing for the Washington Commanders.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Just to let you know. And you need to check out some of that USFL action. That's some good.
I'm waiting for the XFL and the USFL to merge.
2023. Well, it's a good brand of spring football. I watch it, and baseball's out. My Orioles aren't doing too good, but it's baseball.
Right.
So, but your closing statement, brother.
Man, And I've been quiet lately. I haven't even been doing any videos and all,
You got
man.
to get up there and shout out to brother Matt Coley. Spam his channel in the chat. Also, spam Teapot's channel. Anybody who has a channel, spam it because you all need to be heard just like me.
I haven't really been saying much lately. I haven't been doing no videos. I've just been doing a lot of prospecting and observing of what's going on around me.
Yes, sir.
So when I do step back out there and speak on some shit, it's gonna make some clear sense. But in my closing statements, I'm gonna say, man, in life, you have an option. You have the choice to either do or don't.
Right.
Okay. And based on what you choose to do is going to determine what the outcome is going to be. And if you don't, you might lose out or you might win. Life is just about choices. Just make sure you make the right choice, man. That's all I can really say, man, because no matter what, the world's still going to turn. Time's going to tick. Days are going to move. Everything's going to continue. So whatever decision you make in life, just make sure it's the right one. Make sure it works for you. That's all, man.
All right. Big Body Productions. Check his channel out. Thank you for coming up on the panel and in the chat. Your content is very knowledgeable as well. And again, salute to you, brother. And be safe out there.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you get a chance, give me a call on the sidearm. Probably like this weekend or whatever, man. I got something I want to throw out there to you, man. Maybe you can make a topic of discussion. I don't want to air it out over the StreamYard, but I got that's something I might want you to bring up, man. Something that's actually happening out here that's not really being addressed.
We'll bring it up, and I'm gonna get more onto the water. I know Tommy Jean brought up the water. I want to bring more on that out, and I'll get that out next time. And I got a heck of a lot more content to bring out. I'm swamped with it, but I'm gonna bring it out. But yeah, we'll talk about it. Get Tommy Jean's content out there too. She's been giving me a lot of good stuff, and I've been reading it. So yeah, come on up. I'll be up here next Wednesday, same time, same place. But all right, Big Body.
All right. Brother Leon, appreciate you for bringing me on. And I'll catch you next week.
All right, brother. Peace.
Later, y'all.
Remember that. Yes, sir. Bring back the good old Chris Smith days. Chris Smith. Nigga dads. We don't have nothing for you.
Peace.
Peace. All right, another good chat, another good panel, and again, got a lot of doom and gloom. Is doom and gloom overrated, or is doom and gloom in place to basically keep people dumbfounded? But before I get on my epilogue here, let's go over the final poll. Do you believe this country is headed in the wrong direction? I had 35 votes tonight, 91% yes, 9% no. Thank you for participating in the poll. But for my closing statement, knowledge is power. But in order to get that knowledge, you have to be able to investigate, ask questions. You can't walk around naive. You cannot work off of your emotions. Emotions cloud critical thinking. You have to think with common sense. I don't care how much money you have. I don't even care about your degrees. What I talked about tonight, the doom and gloom, that involves all the violence that's happening. Okay? My solution to the public school system is take your children out of the public school system and homeschool. Now, I'm not going to say that is going to reduce violence, because violence can take place at any time and any place. It will reduce the amount of school shootings. Number two, if you or your child has a psychological problem, seek help. We need to stop being so egotistical or being too proud to ask for help. I remember TLC came up with a song back in 1992, I Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Well, beg for help because it is essential that you get psychological help. But a therapist can't do all the work himself or herself. You have to be willing to do the work as well. Number three, the education system of the universities and college. Unless you're going to major in STEM or maybe accounting or being a doctor or a lawyer, you do not need degrees in English, social justice, history. I mean, if you're going to take those in the baccalaureate program, those social science degrees, and become a lawyer, okay, that's one thing. But if you're going to go all the way up to the PhD level, you're not going to make very good money. Those sociology degrees are not marketable at all. Learn your math and science because in the end, you're going to end up with a lot of debt. And you must understand that college is an investment. If you get a job that's going to start you off at 40,000 and you've already paid $200,000, $300,000 for a college degree and you went to a Harvard or a Cornell or any of these other colleges, you're going to be strapped with debt for the rest of your life. Start off with a community college, and if you don't want to go to college, go the trade route or the military route. Also, stop watching mainstream media and step away from social media. Social media is causing individuals to be socially awkward. Many of us don't know how to communicate in person to another person. We hide behind social media. And we have a computer in our pocket called a phone. Instead of going on Facebook or these other websites for entertainment, start looking up information and understanding what's going on. The problem with my generation, Generation X, and the baby boomers, we didn't have this information. So a number of us, when we speak, we sound intelligent, but we're ignorant because we're giving out information that is incorrect. Why? Because we're doing barbershop talk. That doesn't work. You need to get out in the real world and see what's going on and utilize your devices to get information. Also, religion. Religion is not going to get it done. It's great to believe in God, but a lot of these churches are operated by 501c3. The pastors are there to get money, and they get money from the congregation, especially the black churches. Women pay the bill. And ladies, God is not going to find you a husband. I know a number of you look up to the pastor as a surrogate husband or a surrogate father. You should take that energy and put into your own homes. And when searching a man, the best man for you is one that's going to be someone who's going to be a loyal person, a good provider. Don't always look for the money. Looks aren't everything. Appearance means something. Looks are enhancers. Got too many people, men and women, who are superficial. And today, men and women don't even understand how relationships work. That's why they're just hooking up. They don't know how to pair bond. And they never will know how to pair bond because they got too many bad influences out here, like social media. And of course, they've seen their parents and their friends in bad relationships. Always do the research for yourself. And having a government job and a private sector job, the workplace is a high school place. There's a lot of kissing ass going on, a lot of office politics. Stay away from the workplace. Start your own business. Now, in order to do that, you take the money that you're getting from your job. If you have a talent, utilize it. Because in the end, you only live once. So the real suggestion is make the choices that are going to help you navigate through life. It doesn't take a red pill, a MGTOW. It takes common sense. I know we have all these pills, SYSBM. In my humble opinion, you don't need any of that. You just need to know how to think and look at what's going on around you. Because in the end, if you want to get through this system, you must know how to navigate your way through all the obstacles that are thrown in front of you. Because I'll repeat it one more time. You only live once. And in the end, you make the choice on which direction is going to suit you. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for some education, you can check out my second channel. Now I have about 140 videos. Did a video today. It's formerly the Mind of STEM. It's called the QCIS channel. On that channel, I'll give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, if you can't find me on YouTube, you can always check me out on Twitter. Now, for the QCIS channel, I take it one step further since it's more of a professional and educational channel. That channel also, every video I do, I upload it to LinkedIn. Because in the end, I'm going to leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And for individuals who get offended by content that's produced on YouTube that tells the truth, this is what I have to tell you. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. I will be up next Wednesday, same time, same back channel with some hard-hitting content. But in the meantime, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.